Legends Bang Bang.
Welcome to Mobile Legends!
In this regular season, we have a total of 10 teams. Reborn, eBoss Esports SG, Resurgence, Bosco Gaming, Bigatron SG, GeekFam, Icon, MYA, Nara Esports SG, and Xbax X-Assassins playing in a round-robin format of best of 3. In a round of best of 3, 2-0 will grant the winning team 3 points and the losing team 0 points. 2-1 will grant the winning team 2 points and the losing team 1 point. The teams will be ranked accordingly to their points earned, and only the top 8 teams will proceed to the playoffs, while the bottom 2 teams will be eliminated. If there's a 2-way tiebreaker, the head-to-head rule will be applicable. If there's a 3-way or more tiebreaker, the teams involved will be playing an additional game of best of 1. Moving on to the prize pool distribution, the teams will be getting a weekly salary of $350, and every point they earn in the regular season is worth $200 each. Lastly, the MVP of the regular season and the King of KDA will be getting $500 each.
5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them!
From the last week of the regular season, and today we will be kicking off with Assassins versus Reborn. Both of the teams is currently tied at 6th place of 9 points each. Wow, Assassins is the underdog for this season, and Reborn was the underdog that took away the championship title in the previous season. Who will outdo each other? Let the battle of the underdogs begin. Next up, we have Resurgence versus Bigatron SG. These two teams have been frenemies since the beginning of MPL and were also once the powerhouses of Singapore. However, coming into this season, they have fallen off the chart. This is going to be a very intense match for today. It's Resurgence versus Bigatron.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to MPL Season 3. My name is Contra. Here alongside with me is Fatal 5-Way, bringing you all the games in Week 5, Day 1. And of course, we're live on Facebook Gaming, if you guys are wondering. And this MPL MYSG Season 3 is brought to you by EGG Network as well as Moonton. And of course, not forgetting our legendary sponsors, U-Mobile, as well as elite sponsors, HyperX. Now, Fatal 5-Way, it's been a long time since we met each other on this casting table here. How have you been doing, man?
I've been doing great. I mean, it's so good to have the OG batch here. We've been casting since the beginning when we both started our careers off. It is good to be back on the table with you once more.
I'm really happy to see you here. And of course, we're here today for all these Mobile Legends action. Let's have a look into the schedule for today.
Yeah, we've got some exciting games lined up. If you didn't hear the trailer just now, it's Assassins versus Reborn and Resurgence versus Bigatron. These games, it's kind of interesting, and I want to kind of put it in perspective here because Assassins, they have a very interesting way to play the game. Very mechanically not as great as other teams, but very clean, very decisive, and and they just keep getting better. But let's look at the standings here so I can explain Resurgence and Bigatron here, because they're kind of hovering in the top seed spots. I mean, if Resurgence picks up a couple of games, they could knock GeekFam from 4th down to 5th.
Yeah, and it may just be a Singapore show once again here, with only GeekFam in the top 4 and on the 4th spot. So Resurgence needs this win to actually challenge the other teams such as Nara, or even somewhat tie the place with Bigatron SG if only they get a 2-0 today. But looking into the first match of the day, it's going to be Assassin and then Reborn, and both of them are sitting at 9 points. And man, if they were to win, maybe they may just climb up to 5th place in that sense.
I mean, they want to kind of set themselves off to push themselves up to 5th place. Because, I mean, off of this week alone, trying to get up into that top 4 is going to be a little difficult, but there is one last week here, okay? Being in Week 5, you want to set yourself up to shoot yourself into the top 4, because top 4 is probably just going to be wrecking each other at that point. But we want to have to show you top KDA. Currently, it's going to be Fenrir, it's going to be Sync, and KZP. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why is KZP up in top KDA?
He's a really, really good tank and support. If you do see all their games, KZP is one of those tanks that go in and start a fight, but he never falls.
But he picks up kills to make the best KDA. To me, that's
Yeah.
super surprising.
I mean, even if you pick up a lot of assists, it counts as well, right? If you
Oh,
don't
that's
drop.
true.
Yeah, so like it
Alright.
does not deduct, but 2 members of it is actually coming from Bigatron SG. So maybe this is science for you guys to throw some coins in. But Fenrir, oh man, look at Fenrir. 10.7. I think it's really, really tough to actually upkeep your KDA scores throughout every single match. And like this guy came back from esports in Indonesia, goes back to Singapore, and forming a new team with the rest of Nara. They have such an amazing run. They are basically tied at the top of the table with EVOS at this point. But of course, this is one of the final few weeks for the regular season. We might just see some amazing stuff happen throughout this whole week.
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta give him props for that. He comes back, makes a new team, and he's just going in. I'm kind of interested to see what both of these teams have to do and how they kind of interact with each other. But we've got a little bit of surprise just for that. Let's check out this one-on-one challenge.
Hai, kami mewakili tim Expect. Kita orang tim Bot. Dan hari ini kami akan bermain game apa? Let's go. Aduh.
Rock, scissors, paper, rock, scissors, paper. 1, 2, 3. Play with me. Right hand paper. Right hand
Dua je.
Oh my goodness, there's no way I can do that. There's no way. I don't know how they played 2 rounds and then they just got it. They instantly just knew what to do at that point.
And you saw Smooth and Rin right there just playing 8,888 rounds just to actually get some couple of hits in. But
My God.
I'm thankful that Reborn actually finally end the streak right there of defending and attacking. But man, that was really fun. Man, I don't know. Like if we were to play that,
No way.
I think I don't know. I think
I would do the 1-2-2s and I would be laughing, like thinking I'm superior and completely forgetting that I have to either attack or defend. Like there's just no way. I don't have that kind of reaction time. I'm surprised that they were actually able to pick it up that quickly, but does that translate into game skill? I definitely think there is a correlation here.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
I do agree. Like you gotta make sure you react in time to defend your base or even like go in for a gank or something like that. So, that may just be a little bit of a test for them. But of course, we do have our featured players for today. Now, let's check it out for both teams.
Yep, it's going to be Arthur on the Belleric here. And Belleric, he has a couple of changes and has definitely increased in play in solo queue because of it. He's super, super useful. He has Brave Smite. He's going to be able to support you not as good as Grok, but he's such a monster in team fights if he's in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I totally agree. And there's a lot of ban rates going on over on himself as well. He can also negate a lot of like party picks such as Claude, because he can go in with the ult and reduce so much of damage. Now, over on the side of Reborn, we have Silo here with Cyclops. This is actually really interesting. We haven't really seen much of the picks here, but of course, early game, get to level 4 as soon as possible so that you can get your ult. And these are all like standard magical items here with a little bit of a defensive build towards the end. But mid game, you got to make sure you focus on roaming and try to get some ganks in. And towards the late game, make sure you're always in the team fight. So
yeah,
playing with the Imperious Rage as well. That's a pretty interesting build.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's not like high. It's not like that high burst damage you would expect from regular mages these times around. But I gotta remind everybody, you want to get some sweet skins. Contra, do you want some sweet skins?
I want some skins.
Well, you're going to have to answer this question: which is the most impactful hero during week 5 of the regular season? This is going to be the legendary skin. These are the legendary quizzes here, so make sure you answer it. Log into the website on EGG Network. Make sure you do that because you're going to have access to Hayabusa. You're going to have access to the Leomord. You're also going to have access to the Argus. You want one of these 3 skins? This is where you're going to have to answer.
Yeah, stop spamming the chat here. Make sure you open the tabs up, go to EG Network, and find out how you can actually get that answer going. But of course, make sure you tune in for all these matches so that you can get the right answer.
Contra, I am so jittery right now. I had one coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah, one coffee.
All right.
And I thought that's going to get me through the day. And I'm feeling so pumped for this particular game, Assassins versus Reborn. Because, as I was trying to mention earlier, Assassins has this very standard textbook style of play, while Reborn, they're very chaotic. They like to be up in your face, like all the time. They like to disrupt your plans. And it's two very conflicting, contrasting styles. So... yeah. Is Reborn the perfect counter to Assassins purely based on their playstyle? I really don't know. To me, this is like a 55-45, 60-40, 50-50.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to determine the odds for this game.
For me, I would definitely agree with you as well because it's a 50-50 to me. When we saw during the trailer where you did say that these two were the underdogs, of course, last season. Now, the defending champions, Reborn, have been having a really shaky run. However, from the side of Assassins, they had really bad first 2 rounds, but eventually they pick up the slack. They adapted so well. They even came close to beating like really top-tier teams.
Yeah.
And shut down MYA of all teams. Like, I expected them to actually fall really badly onto that matchup, but they hold their fort, and I do expect that they will go in with some experimentations because this week we have a lot of great picks coming in. But speaking of picks, we'll go straight into draft for game number 1.
Now, I'm gonna steal that a little bit from you because nothing is off the table. There is nothing bannable. Yeah, no holds back. Everything's on the table. Kufra is allowed to be picked. Changi is allowed to be picked. Uranus is allowed to be picked, as well as Kaya. And that definitely hurt the previous week when Kaya wasn't able to be on the battlefield. So let's see how that kind of changes up the draft because priorities are going to be everywhere.
Exactly, and with this Diggy ban, this is going to force Reborn to ban out really top-tier picks. We still have Harif, and you talked about the Kufra. It's still such a solid tank. It can disrupt a lot of front lines or even assassins coming into play. And they chose to ban out the Helgut here. Now, this is going to push back towards the side of the assassins here. They may want to ban out like things like, I don't know, Harif. Like, I think Grok will be let out of the table here.
I think, Grok might make it through. I still think Grok is especially useful, but it's tough to say because right now not a lot of teams have a lot of experience playing. I'm not sure how much they scrim, but if they do, they probably want to start picking up on these newer types of heroes like Kufra, like the Kaya. I mean, Kaya probably has been played a lot more, but Kufra is interesting because we don't know whether he's a situational tank or whether he is just one of your dedicated tanks. No matter what situation you're in, you just want to have him. He's kind of like is he worth a Grok or is he worth a Belleric?
Yeah, like I feel like now that there's so many tanks on the table, you can even pick Kaya, you can even pick there's just so many options out there. You are spoiled for choices. Now that things are open, Kuku has the chance to actually take high firepower here.
Yeah.
Maybe Lunox, maybe like we said, Kufra could be the tank of options. Kaya, but instead, it's gonna be the first thing that I said from my mouth.
Yeah. So it's interesting because they had the option to pick Kimmy up for themselves. They decide to give it over to Reborn. I'm not sure whether they have a pick in mind to actually deal with the Kimmy because I still think she is an early game monster. Grok is still on the table, so I think that's where the confusion is here for this last pick, especially when you're like, oh, I have a tank. There's a plethora of options. They're still going to lock in the Gronk. They still want to play for that early game here. Now, Assassins, they have a couple of options. I do think they need to get at least one of their utility tanks and a dedicated tank. So would I expect to see something like Kaya and Belleric? Potentially. I don't think Belleric just yet. Maybe a Kufra? It's hard to say.
I still feel like maybe some of these players may not be too familiar with the newer heroes, but that's just like assumptions. I'm pretty sure that they have a lot in that. And we see a lot of great performances from Arta. I think that he's one of the MVPs for Assassins here. He's going to go with the confident pick. So Akai it is, along with the Kaya. This is quite a solid draft so far for the side of Assassins.
Yeah, and I really like the Akai, especially on Arthur, because you see him, he finds these opportunities, and he's such a great playmaker that even Terrence mentioned it the other time, when Arthur is not on something he can playmake, he kind of is less effective, because he's kind of just there. He wants to do something, but he doesn't have the skill set, not the skill set, but the hero kit to do so. Reborn, on the other hand, they're prioritizing the early game, but I'm expecting them to at least ban out the Thalmos, just because they want Leomort to kind of have like an easier sort of laning phase here.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, this is gonna ease him a lot more if he wants to ban it out there. But of course, when we look into this, I don't think that they'll go for more tanks, so Kufra will still not be banned. And perhaps they can even like scope down to some of these marksman picks here, because from the side of Assassins, they haven't picked their marksman as of yet. So perhaps with one marksman ban, Lung could actually pick one marksman up to work alongside with Kimmy. We've seen that double thing where Kimmy acts like some sort of mage still, and there will be maybe a carry pick or something like of sorts.
Yeah.
But still, a lot of options out on the table, and we know Reborn is also fantastic on all these assassins here. So they got to pick up their mind in 5 seconds here, and like you said, Tamas.
Yeah, now they're going to be... I'm not so sure what they're going to go for here, because their comp is kind of up in the air. They have an offlaner, sure. Now, the real question is whether they're going to dedicate their resources to a split pusher like Hayabusa if they wanted to. We've seen it happen time and time again. Once Hayabusa gets ahead, he really starts to speed up the game and really throw a lot of wrenches into the gearworks. But Reborn, have they changed? Have they decided like, hey, we want to play a team fighting composition? Ooh, looks like they do. Looks like they want to push Kimmy into that mage type role. So would I expect her? Depends how far she gets ahead. We'll see the emblems later on, just to kind of tell us what kind of build she'll go for. But Carrie, real solid pick.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. And we see Assassins picking up Harley a lot alongside with maybe a Chow, but that's gonna make them have two. Like the moment I said Harley, they locked it for AX, and here comes Chow as well. Oh, I feel like a prophet.
Are you Contra from the future? What the heck?
I just read like 10 seconds ahead.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting Chow. Harley was more likely, but Chow was kind of like, not so sure. I thought Guinevere might have been a little bit better, but I think then again, that would be too much magical damage here. So Reborn, on the other hand, Rio's going to be hovering over that Lancelot. I kind of like this only because he can just clear waves super quickly and then go for that early roam, so he doesn't really have to interact with the lane. And that's the beauty about these types of heroes. Ooh, traditional. Traditional.
I like this, man. It means that they're gonna rely a lot on carry to shred up all the front lines or anyone in front of the face. Meanwhile, Kimmy will be doing a lot of pushing in the mid game and chunking out all these DPS. So this is a really great draft from both teams, but we're gonna have a look into how these teams fare. But before that, we've got some special video for you guys, and let's see who's the best one in terms of taunting each other.
Jangan ingat, season lepas korang champion, season ni pun korang akan champion lagi. Korang akan ban hero favorite korang. So welcome to the meta lah.
Really?
Oh man, we really gotta up the Malaysian game of taunting, man. Like these guys, the trash talk isn't as good. I think Singapore kind of takes the cake in terms of like complete trash talking.
Is this why they're not in the top 4?
Oh,
Now that's a burn.
take a page out of that book. Let's go into game. This is Assassins versus Reborn. I've been waiting for this game for so long.
Oh yeah, and like the battle of the underdogs, they say, but Assassins just kept climbing up and beyond. But Smooth here already soaking a little bit of this damage coming in from Silo, but he's gonna be a-okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be absolutely fine for now. I really don't like the changes that they did to Kaya. She isn't that like super big playmaker that people just don't really abuse as much with the double dash. Now just making it to a single dash, changing
Still
her passive
reliable
up.
though. Like
I mean, yeah, sure, it is reliable, but it's like you're taking away her utility and making pushing her more to that mage type role. Because right now, I don't think her numbers kind of justify her being a tank anymore, but she can still build that way.
yeah, like I guess like with all these changes, you can actually play her in a very, very different way. Like she gets a little bit more of that damage, but Arta is getting pummeled down toward the corner. But of course, they did give him a little bit of respect, so that's gonna be fine for him. As Reborn had 4 men sent towards the bottom and not getting anything at all.
What?
I don't know. Is this actually effective?
I don't think it's the most efficient, but I don't think it matters too much, especially when both sides aren't interacting with each other. Sure, you are like kind of slower here, and I think Assassins just profited off of one camp.
Yeah.
Because of that, oh boy.
Oh, Arta running for his life. Smooth right in the middle of it all, but it's going to be Evil X running for his life, and he's going to be brought down there for the first blood. But here comes Smooth and AX, as they will get another one for the side of Reborn, but it's still a 2-for-1. So that's great job for the Assassins.
Oh yeah, Assassins are definitely happy with that trade-off, especially when it's like, oh, I'm just going to sacrifice my tank, it's going to be fine here. I was kind of interested because they kind of sent Arthur down to the bot side. I was like, hey, now you're the dedicated fighter. I was kind of confused. I think they were trying to do a lane swap, and I think they effectively did that now. But looking at both compositions here, Reborn definitely have a very interesting way of team fighting. Very,
look at the rest of Reborn marching in, and Smooth caught in a wave flicker from the side of Arrow to run for his life. Oh, that maximum charge though, bring him really down low. But here comes Brilliance as Smooth tries to run away. The flicker over on the tree, man, and the mid-north will clip one of them down. Assassins have to sacrifice in this team fight, and AX getting caught in the middle, but of course, Harley will be able to run away, and this is a big fight for Reborn as they will secure the turtle.
Absolutely. I think level 4 was like just the biggest turning point for Assassins, and now that they kind of sacrificed that and gave up turtle as well, it's kind of on Assassins to make the play in the next 1 minute 30 seconds or so, because they don't want the ultimates from Reborn to be coming up as soon as possible, and they do have an opportunity to punish.
Yeah, like that was just perfect. Like you said, like the moment that they hit level 4, they went diving, and Kenpachi flickers and uses the Minoan Fury at the perfect timing. 3 men up in the air. Perfect setup.
That was great. I think Kenpachi has definitely outdone himself later into the league. Like when he first came in, I was kind of I was definitely
skeptical, right?
very hesitant. He did make a couple of misplays, especially on the not on the big stage, sorry, but on his debut. But he has just consecutively improved so much that now he's becoming this consistent playmaker, kind of like Arthur. Oh no! Speaking of Arthur plays,
that's a really crazy push coming in, but Rin's still gonna hold on strong. Arthur being brought down to 10% health, but it's gonna be Smooth taking a kill, and Cuckoo being stuck right over on the wall, but still Cuckoo managed to pull one back for his team. And that's 4 for 4 right now.
Yeah, great rotation coming in from Assassins there. Able to slowly maneuver their way around. And they did have priority mid, so they are able to punish. Is Evil X going to go down? Yes, he is! The Meteor Fury is not going to pick him up. Smooth does a really great job of just picking people off right now. And he's going to be so far ahead of the team.
Oh, Way of the Dragon over the side of Ara, but of course it's just to push him back. Nothing much that's really heavy in terms of damage, but here comes Arta diving in again, but that Hurricane Dance, where is he going though?
I mean, he's just trying to juke it out.
Oh, what a fiesta.
Yeah, this is pretty chaotic, I'm not gonna lie, but I think no matter what, Assassins are still coming out a little bit ahead of these trades, which is kind of good because Reborn, they want to slow down they want to slow it down during the mid game here.
Yeah, but like you can say like in terms of map control as well, even though Reborn has 2 turtles, I think this is definitely on their side as Harley actually steals it away. I take my words back. AEX pulling one for the team, and the goal extends for the side of Assassins right there.
Assassins are just making this look like child's play at this point. This is just not fair. You just can't do that. It's not fair. Like, why are you taking my stuff? Oh wait, but now that's not the only thing they're gonna take.
Oh my goodness, Cuckoo playing a very risky game. Almost getting caught there by Kenpachi. Kenpachi is charging up some of these rage, so he can't actually use the Midnight Fury when they go into the team fight. But still, Assassins, knowing how to read the game, they know all the movements coming in from Reborn. And thus, from the side of Assassins, they didn't really have to take certain risks. But some of these fights, I think like what Assassins are really good at are all these 50-50s. Because if you think about it, when they go into the fight, they make sure that they have something else in store. If they lose this fight, they will take another tower. And speaking of tower, over the top side.
Oh no, that's not it. Rin is gonna get caught out again. The team is just slow. And as you were mentioning, yes, they were pushing up top, but they are playing the map super well. And I think instead of Assassin being good at 50-50s, I think they're even better at just sheer global map plays.
Yeah.
Global map plays. What the heck was that? I mean, just across map plays.
Macro play in that sense.
Yeah, no, cross map, in particular cross map, because they're looking to always catch someone out. As Silo gets caught out once more. Smooth is going in with the ultimate.
Running for his life.
He wants the kill.
Nailed down.
Yep, he wants the kill. Evil X is going to be the next target, going down once more. The rest of the team is just going to pull back. AX wants a little bit more with a poker trick, able to cut him off. The advantage goes over to Assassins, and they just don't care anymore. Ooh, Retribution kill from Long. That's not going to be enough to save this game.
Yeah, that's definitely not enough. 3 members down, and they have to defend their lives here. Kenpachi trying to do what he can to actually defend this tower, as AEX will be brought down there by the carry as she goes on the mega kill.
Oh, that is just... this is not looking good for Reborn here.
I mean, look at it. Like, 5 kills already on the side of Lunox, and even Harley's well fat in that situation, but still, they overstayed, and right now, Smooth getting chunked down. There's no way that he can actually run out of this, but Brilliance will be popped nonetheless as Cuckoo gets knocked up in the air, but here comes Divine Judgment, pushing Kenpachi all the way back as the kill goes on for Akai, as well as Lunox picking it unstoppable, and now all these Reborn members are just dropping down like flies.
That was such a well-played team fight from the side of Assassins. Smooth did an amazing job there. He held up the Brilliance. He knew that was his only way out, so he was hoping to get something bigger. He was healing off multiple members with his first ability, and that's kind of the beauty of Lunox. She can use it. That's her trump card. I can go invulnerable at any time. I am just baiting out your spells. Use as many on me as possible. So that was really well done by Smooth. Artha got a good pick as well. But geez, Smooth, you can't do that. These guys have families, man.
Yeah, like you look at it, you've already read it before they even started the fight. But Kenpachi once again being caught in between. Way of the Dragon over on the side of
they gotta kill him now.
Oh, it knocks him up in the air, and here comes Silo returning the favor as they get a shutdown over on the side of Lunox. Smooth. I just wanted to talk about Smooth earlier. Man, I just want to say that all these plays were magnificent, like the previous team fight, but here...
he casually just dies. He casually just dies mid-sentence. I mean, it's not wrong for them to go for a play like this, but I think they kind of underestimated how tanky Kenpachi was, and they needed to kill him immediately because you could see that rage building up so quickly, taking that much damage. Like, you got to give him some respect.
Yeah, I totally agree, but like, there's nothing much that can be done there from the side of Assassins. There's
press buttons faster.
Yeah, maybe just chase, like, make sure, like, if you have a flicker, just spam the flicker already. But of course, 45 seconds to the next objective there. It's going to be a Lord right now, as all the turtles have already been slain. But in terms of itemizations, that's a really, really tanky composition from the side of Reborn.
Yeah, I think Reborn, again, we talked about this in the draft itself. They have a very solid, very meta sort of team fighting composition that does pretty much one thing really well, and that's team fighting, and it's super consistent, and a lot of teams will go back to, oh no, this is going to be a catch from Kenpachi, is it? Nope, they learned from their mistakes. They're not going to do it again. They saw his rage and be like, I'm out of here. I don't want to have nothing to do with you, boy.
Yeah, another cross map play though. Over on the bottom side, they managed to secure a tower from the side of Assassins,
Lord
and
resurrecting
Leomord has been forced to deal with this situation for way too long, and they may just secure mid lane as well if they keep going at this sort of rate, as Reborn doesn't really seem to have much replies.
I think at this point of time, what Assassins need to do is look to secure Lord quickly, because it's coming to that breaking point where Reborn is going to be catching up. They're just behind. This is their critical moment because they're going to be one full item ahead, while Reborn has components. So if they take a fight right now, it's more likely that Assassins will win that fight, even though they do have, you know, that team composition that wants to go for these big plays. But again, it's Kenpachi. Here he goes.
Oh,
Yeah,
there we
huge.
go. Kenpachi in the middle, looking for that Minute Fury as he knocks out 2 members up in the air. Cuckoo will be able to fall down low, but it's going to be the Minotaur being slain. And of course, from the side of Leomord, he tries to run away, but he cannot. There goes Arab as well, as Rin still goes on the chase, but AX has the damage, throws all the cards in front of his face, won't be able to bring him down, and that's a little bit of blunder coming from the Assassins as Reborn wins this fight.
Yep, it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade. They protect Lord, and I think Reborn did a great job there. I love how Kenpachi didn't immediately pop his ult. He knew that he just had to wait a little bit more because they were going to try and stop him. He was way out of position on purpose. He knew that he's probably not going to die due to his item build as well as his emblems, but man, he played that so well, especially with Hurricane Dance being popped already. It gets cancelled later on. Kenpachi still has the Minnow Fury, so he's just waiting for it. Like, give him a just stick all the ham together in one fat sandwich.
Yeah, and look at Kenpachi once again, always face checking into the brush, but of course he's really tanky right now. He doesn't really need to worry as much during the early phases. This is 11 minutes into the game, but I wish that we could see that fight again on how they actually stall it out, because it looked a little bit messy, but it was actually well coordinated as Evil X used the wall charge into the right members, and he had to risk his life in that situation, meanwhile making room for Rin. But here comes another challenge coming in from Reborn to stop the Lord once again.
Yeah, they just have to keep doing this time and time again, because Assassins, the only way they're going to be breaking into their base at all is going to be through Lord, or they make a terrible play. Artha's in trouble!
Artha popping out the Hurricane Dance, and he will actually buy time. Look at the top lane though. There is 2 members as Arrow tries to go into this push with Smooth as the rest of the members are being occupied. Let's have a look over the side of the crowd. Kenpachi managed to make their way in, but they won't be able to stop him right now. Here comes a beautiful kick coming in from Arrow, but the Moon Fury will be used as the Way of the Dragon will kick over on the side of the Minotaur as Lunox brings him down. They still go on a goose chase, but Arab still tries to challenge them, knowing that they will lose even if they chase. But here comes the Brilliance coming from Smooth as well, still trying to hang it on.
He's gonna 1v2.
Rin, oh, can he actually do it though? He's dashing away, and he's just outplaying all these members from the Son of Reborn as Evil X runs for his life.
Oh my goodness, this is nuts. Smooth just understood that he knew. You could see how confident he was playing, that he knew he could 1v2 that easily. All he needed was his ultimate. He was just waiting for the right time. And to be fair, oh no, wait, that's not the only thing. Cuckoo's in a lot of trouble here. He's taking a lot of damage. Doesn't go down luckily, but this could be it. This could be the change. Artha finds the play.
That beautiful Hurricane Dance once more sets up for Smooth, and he goes on a killing spree. Man, let's talk about Smooth again. You were saying he's so patient, and now Arthur's the one setting things up for them as AX tries to go for a little bit of poke.
Yeah, Smooth just knew he could 1v2 mainly because they didn't have any CC at all. Oh no, Rock, you can't stand there. Smooth is just destroying people now.
There goes Ray.
Oh no, he's in trouble.
Something, but there goes the Divine Judgment, pulling him up, and he has been caught up in the middle as Chao gets that kill, and this is going to be game 1 over on the hands of Assassins as they bully off Lone back into his base, and of course, game numero uno on the hands of Assassins.
Well, thank you, Dora the Explorer. I always wanted to know what Spanish way of saying one. But yeah, I think Assassins, this is so different from when they first came into MPL. They weren't looking too good, and now they're just looking like an absolute monster here. Their macro is just on point. Let's look at the stats to get a better idea. Because Smooth was just playing out of his mind. He played so confident. Like, to see a player play that confident is rather scary because you don't know what phases him anymore. Especially in that 2v1. Look at the amount of damage. 73,000 damage. Though, I just can't believe that.
Yeah, and look at Cuckoo's damage. It's really, really high as compared to all these members from the side of Reborn. I don't know. It's only Lung and Rin doing most of the work, but the rest of them, I don't know, like, there's solid frontliners, but lack of follow-up, or they're just being split up everywhere because, like you said, they have crazy good cross-map plays. And when they go on a fight, they have to deal with Smooth, they have to deal with the Brilliance, and Smooth knows how to time it so perfectly.
Yeah, I think it's a little uncharacteristic for Reborn to go to some composition like this where it's looking to team fight. And yes, I do think they are mechanically talented players, but this is not their playstyle. They weren't as up into your face as I would want it to. You want to have things that allow them to split push. You want things that allow Long to really pop off here. And denying him the Lunox was just one step in the plan. So I think they did a really good job here from Assassins. However, I would like to see Reborn on something a little bit more aggressive, I would like to say, because I feel like Grok and Kimmy weren't utilized as well. Let's look at some of the highlights here.
Yeah, and of course, these were some of the early game fiestas over on the river. But of course, Reborn here grouped up really, really well. Tried to actually get a couple of kills, and of course, tries to bring down Smooth, their Brilliance being popped, and that forces Kenpachi to flicker and get that Minute Fury to pop about 2 kills in total in that skirmish. Or it was a 3. It was a 3.
Almost third. Nobody was able to get to the back line to pick up Cho there, which was pretty lucky because that would have been a huge lead going over to Reborn. And I think in this game, Rin was just having a really tough game overall. Like, when you are the Leo mode, you want to kind of just keep wave clearing and find an opportunity to get to the back line and start clearing them up. But when your back line is like AX, who's on Harley, who's in Smooth, who's on Lunox, they have a way to go invulnerable. They have a way to, you know, get out of there with that
so
poker trick.
annoying.
It's impossible to run these guys down, so you kind of have to depend on the team to peel the tanks enough for you to start cleaning up.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Like, look at all these time, Arta with his Hurricane Dance. I gotta say, hands down, he played the best Akai I've ever seen in Season 3 thus far, and someone's got to deal with this Akai. Like, some teams gave him the respect ban, but from the side of Reborn, they didn't really do that in that sense. I mean, I'm not saying that it is a must to actually take out the Akai, but still, it was him setting up fights after fights. Now, let's have a look at this one. Let's break it down.
Yeah, and see, in this particular fight, it was a mistake. It was a mistake definitely on Assassins there, but you have to give it to Grok because he was able to cancel out that Hurricane Dance. And I think Assassins had the right idea. They just weren't able to get that last part of the execution just to deny that Minute Fury. And I think that Minute Fury is just such a game changer, and Kenpachi, time and time again, just usually catch people off. Now, this 2v1 was beautiful.
Yeah.
They knew that they could win this. Like, Smooth immediately knew that he was going to win this upcoming 2v1. And that's because they didn't have any CC whatsoever. Oh, there goes the highlights. But yeah, it was just a great... Once you know that you don't have CC and you have both ultimates, you can just take your time.
Yeah.
Just chill out. Start dishing out that damage. And when the big guns hit, just turn on that darkness and gun down the DPS.
Oh, yeah. And from what I remembered in that situation, I was like wondering, why is Arab actually turning the wrong way? It's actually to buy more space for the Lunox so that even if he falls, 4 men wouldn't chase over on the side of Lunox, and that 1v2 situation, maybe they communicated and said, hey, I got the Brilliance and I can actually pull off a 1v2. And he just pulled them all the way, baited him, and was like, hey, cooldown's off, let's fight. And of course, pull out a lot of amazing plays. But man, I felt like Reborn definitely could do better here. What do you think like they could improve?
I think in terms of what they could improve is how they respond to these cross-map plays. And I think Assassins are just one of the Malaysian teams who's playing this particular style really, really well. So Reborn need to be able to be up in their face and disrupt that. We're going to go on a short break, but when we come back, it's going to be Game 2 versus Assassins against Reborn. If you're wondering where we are, we're live on Facebook Gaming. This is the MPL Season 3 MYSG, brought to you by EGG Network as well as Moontoon. Not to mention our favorite sponsors, legendary, by the way. You Mobile legendary. Hey man, I mean, rank reset, that's where you want to be. Legendary, you Mobile, as well as our elite sponsor HyperX. We're gonna go on a short break, and when we come back, it's gonna be some more exciting games.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hero Spotlight. This time, let's meet Desert Tyrant Kufra. Kufra is a tank with strong CC, who can dash towards enemies and stop enemies from using blink skills.
All shall succumb to my power.
He used to be the ruthless tyrant in the Western Desert. Enhancing himself by Spell Curse, he then gained mighty power. Skill 1, Tyrant's Revenge. Kufra pulls the bandage on his arm to launch himself in the specified direction, dealing physical damage to all enemy units along the path. When blinking to the furthest distance or encountering a first enemy hero, Kufra will immediately stop, dealing physical damage to enemies nearby and then knocking them up. It's the main skill for Kufra to join the battle. The longer he charges, the longer the knock-up effect will be. Try to better use it with Ultimate Tyrant's Rage and control enemy heroes much longer. Skill 2, Bouncing Ball. Kufra uses Bandage to wrap himself into a magical bouncing ball, increasing his own physical and magical defense. Enemies trying to use blink skills to move across Kufra will be knocked up. Each time the magical bouncing ball hits the ground, it will deal magic damage to enemies nearby and reduce their movement speed. This skill counters the heroes that are good at blink skills. They cannot move across the bouncing ball. Ultimate Tyrant's Rage. Kufra pulls back all enemy targets around him toward the front, dealing physical damage and slowing them down for several seconds. Each time Kufra uses his skill to control enemy heroes, Spell Curse's CD is reduced. It's smart strategy to use it and trigger passive twice in a short time and restore much HP. Teamfight rages on. Enemy Fanny is still on her way. Regardless, allies outnumber the enemies. Bad farming makes it still hard to win the team fight. Kufra uses his skill combo and controls all the enemies. Danger! Here comes Fanny. Narrow landscape like this is the best for Fanny. But what? Her blink is interrupted? Again? Interrupted? Oh, it's Kufra's second skill. It counters Fanny so well. Let's march towards the enemy base and win the match. And that's our new hero, Kufra. Pick him up for 599 diamonds or 32,000 battle points. Be sure not to miss out on the 30% launch week discount. Want to know more about the strategies of Kufra? Stay tuned to the hero guide when he is online. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the land of dawn.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
And welcome back, everybody. Live on Facebook Gaming, the MPL Season 3 MYSG, brought to you by EGG Network, as well as Moontoon, not to mention our legendary sponsors, U-Mobile, as well as HyperX. Yep. And this is the Fatal 5-Way with the one and only 90s prodigy side-scrolling shooter Contra. I always gotta make that. I always want to make that reference every time your name comes up. I don't know how many people actually know that your name is derived. Well, I'm not sure if it was intentionally, but like it was derived from that side-scrolling 90s game.
Yeah, I get that every now and then, but like it's great to bring it up because like I did start out with all the Nintendo games,
yeah,
and then like eventually I move on to so many other console games, PC games, and now mobile games is definitely the hot cake right now in Google Play. If you guys are living under the rock, this is MPL, and of course we're playing a lot of Mobile Legends here in the MPL. Now, we saw another amazing game coming in from the Assassins, and this time they bring the defending champions one game down. And do you think that with that being said, can they take 2 straight games with this game here on their hand? Because so far, I don't see them taking too much of a 2-0 here, but Reborn knows how to come back from a deficit time and time again.
Yeah, I think especially after Reborn's run in Season 2, it's kind of hard to neglect them for a lot of these situations. But I think Assassins, they're looking good. I want them to get a 2-0 just to give me some confidence in them that they can take a lead and just keep moving on with the momentum. Because a lot of teams, what you want is either they work off, are they just, a stage team? They have to be on stage, they have to have the crowd with them to really pump them up for the game. But I think for Assassins, I want to see them able to take momentum and just drive with it, because sooner or later they're going to have to play at least a best of 5 somewhere in their career.
Yeah.
And that's really, really tough, especially mentally wise. It just exhausts you. So hopefully they can take this and get a nice clean 2-0. Hope that way my predictions are going to be right for our in-house predictions. I'm so far on the top of the league. I don't want to drop. I don't want to drop some
was
points.
this close. I was like at third or fourth spot, and I just keep missing and missing. I'm being pushed to the middle right now. So
You'll take the points you can get, man.
yeah, I'll take what it is. But because there's so many times that there's games that causes big upsets in a good way, and this is going to be another Diggy ban coming in, which opens up the table once again. We still have Kufa. We haven't seen any Kufa as of yet. Does Reborn want to consider taking that tank, or will they go for a Gronk?
I arguably think that Assassins might want to pick up Kufra only because they got rid of Diggy. Like they're okay. Yeah, you can play Kimmy. It's fine. We completely crushed you last game. We can easily pick up the Lunox if it was on the table. But now that they don't have it, what are they going to choose? They don't have too many options under their belt, but I think they can still pull this off. Again, Akai for Arthur and Grok. Woo!
Oh, this is
solid front line.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if they have the Chow or not in this situation, because
Kaya
like
Minotaur.
with this being said, like
Kaya Minotaur right here.
Yeah.
Right here. Please give me like some, you know,
maybe
my
a
future
Chow.
predictability.
Maybe they'll steal the Chow.
No.
Maybe.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you future contra me right here.
Oh, I don't know. Like, it could be anything. It could be a Tamus. It could be a Leomord before they go into the second phase. So, Halkert. Okay, both of us are wrong, but I like this pick. Think about it. I mentioned about them being a really strong split pushers, as well as really good in terms of playing assassins. That's the signature Reborn style that we know from the previous season. So it's good to see them going back into what their strengths are. But here comes a Leomord pick here, and Assassins wants to force the Tamus ban.
Yeah. I think they're very comfortable on the Leomord if they can get rid of the Thalmos here. It's interesting because if you think about it, Reborn are locking in their DPSs very, very quickly. And they know that they have Akai in their ranks. So Hellcrit is kind of interesting because it's difficult to get in on a team who still has the Hurricane Dance. So they're probably going to expect Akai, expect Arthur, who's probably going to be playing Akai, to make a play. And when that happens, if it's not in Hellcrit, he should be able to clean up house. So this could be some, 300 IQ stuff, or they're thinking ahead of time here. Now, getting rid of Minotaur as well, I like that so much.
Yeah, and this actually negate a lot of defenses coming from Reborn. But Reborn had this master plan. You think about it. They've already had the Kaya, and they banned out the Lunox, so that's one carry being taken off. And then they banned out the Harley as well, forcing them to play on Gushin. Now, we talk about Kufra, and Kufra, with the bouncing balls, can actually stop Gushin on his tracks if he ever comes in with all these blades flying in. So,
I guess
maybe.
I don't think. I mean, they could. I'm not gonna lie. They could actually do it. They could actually decide to pick up Kufra only just to protect the Kimmy from a lot of things. Actually, now that I think about it, they could protect them from Leomord, can protect them from Gushin, can protect them from Grok as well. But instead, they want to go for something that has that early game potential. So they have the Garokacha just to make sure, like, oh, if you are on top of me, I'm able to lock you down. I'm able to chase. I can do everything really, really well, especially with a Hellcrit on my side. This has got to be
interesting. It's just really interesting because they have both the Leomord and Tavis on their side. So, a lane bully, hyper sustain tank slash fighter, and of course, they can actually team fight for days with this composition. I'm not sure though, like, who's gonna take this one on the back.
I definitely like Reborn's composition a lot more now that I'm looking at the full lineup of Assassins. Picking the Thalmos there means that you're going to prioritize your side lanes. You're going to have control over mid, and you're going to keep rotating. They're going to play that cross-map game. If Reborn wants to at least stand a chance against their clean, like, Assassins is really good cross-map play, they need to punish. They have Kaya. You need her to roam as much as possible. Get that level 4. Get those picks in the side lane. You need to hurt them. because once they can't do much, the core of their composition just slowly crumbles down, and they're going to have to depend on Arab and Arthur to be setting up these plays instead of Smooth and Cuckoo.
Exactly, and of course, this is game number 2 between Reborn and Assassins here. Of course, with that deficit, Reborn has to step up their game, but
Look at that damage. Look at that
oh,
damage.
the damage is just so crazy as AX alongside with Arab tries to actually chunk it down, but with a little bit of sidestepping, Reborn will be A-okay. But I don't know, like Reborn here, they picked up the Guinevere here. I think that it can be a really good setup alongside with Evil X. What are your thoughts onto Guinevere? Some teams have some successions over onto it, but some teams not really.
I absolutely love Guinevere, actually. She is, if you pit her against any offlaner, she will completely crush them. Well, not necessarily crush them, but like basically render them useless. Because Thalmos can't really do anything to Guinevere. And the only decent matchup I can think of is Leomord into the Guinevere, because Leomord doesn't have to necessarily interact with her. He just has to clear the wave, just do nothing, play passive. But I have to admit, yeah, here comes the punish into the side lane. Reborn already taking, already adapting to Assassin's playstyle. And now, I wanted to point this out earlier, but Assassins, I don't like the way that they break up the team composition. Like, they're sending Cuckoo into the mid lane to join the kill squad, wait until he gets 4, and then he switches out with Arthur. Like, they want to get Arthur to level 4 quickly. And I think Reborn saw this and have adapted immediately, before 2 minutes, taking out top tier 1, knocking down Arthur a peg, so he's not going to be able to make a play until level 4.
Yeah, I agree, and of course, from the side of Assassins, they are resource dependent, and right now they're looking at to actually secure the bottom tower here, but Kenpachi in the middle of it all. They're trying to look for the targets here, but Silo managed to bring down Grok to really dangerous level of health. Maximum charge hits over on concussion, but not anything substantial at all. And that top side dive was beautifully orchestrated from the side of Reborn as well. Speaking of Reborn, it's going to force Arrow back once again.
Yeah, and I think now that Reborn have adapted, I don't think Assassins can... They're playing exactly the same way they did in Game 1. And that's making it textbook. Oh, Arrow, what are you doing?
Oh, freebie?
Freebie. I definitely thought he was gonna like pop sprint or use the or hit level 4 or something. Oh no, that's not it. He's gonna go down again. Ah! Oh, this is getting heartbreaking. As long as he's gonna be under the attack of Smooth.
Oh. What is that as Leomord gets one more kill on the side of Guinevere, and right now Silo tries to do something here. Kenpachi's falling down, but Reborn still on the charge. Divine Judgment over on the Panda, but Arta will be able to still defend himself. Can he actually do it though? Dark Knight Falls has been popped, but Evil X will secure this one for the team.
They're doing a great job. Reborn have absolutely changed up their playstyle. This is what I wanted to see from Reborn. I think it definitely caught them off guard in Game 1, but in Game 2, they are looking super confident in their style of play. 3 minutes and 14 seconds. They've already taken another turret. They're trading with their top side, which they're absolutely okay with, because look at the lead that they've generated.
Yeah, look at the goal. 2,000 is really huge. It's just 3 minutes of play. I mean, like, public games, you don't really get this sort of a great advantage so quickly. And over the side of X-Packs here, I don't know, like, they have these frontliners, which is so out-dependent. They need Arta to start up the fights instead of waiting for Reborn to actually bring them down low. Look at the pokes. It's just gonna chunk them into dangerous level, but maximum charge hits over on a Smooth though.
It looks like Kenpachi wants to go for this. He's going in. He's going in hard as the rest of the team is going to start collapsing. They are fighting for the butt, but the backside is taking a lot of damage as Arab pushes them out with the power of nature. Ooh, Arta isn't able to get out of there, but Lung is in the back line. Ultimate already both. Violet Duez gone. Oh, Silo is going straight through, but he misses the ult at the very end. AX, he's just chilling. He's just chilling. He wants to wait for someone to pick off, but is it going to be enough? Uses the reconnaissance, doesn't get the kill.
Oh man, it's going from bad to worse from the side of Assassins. And in their own jungle, they're losing right now. Cuckoo going in for the fight already. Kenpachi will be brought down, but Silo gets the double kill there with the Mega initially as Arta tries to chase in. There's no way you can chase this Kimi.
Oh no, that was just unfortunate. I mean, Cuckoo had the right idea. He needed to clean up, but I think Smooth had to be the one to do the cleanup here. He has the momentum. He has a way. His passive naturally just helps him dealing crit damage if you're below a certain HP. I mean, you have the skill set. However, Cuckoo wasn't able to deal enough damage despite that insane sustain, even though he was taking damage from 3 members of Reborn. Just not enough.
Yeah, totally not enough. And now they're going to contest for the turtle. I'm not sure if Assassins could still dish out enough damage. It's like it's decent, but they have to make sure that Silo is occupied all the time, because Silo's the one dishing out all these damage, and it felt like he just soloed this whole turtle by himself.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention he has 5 kills under his belt, so he is pretty big. He's already doubled the amount of gold income coming in from every member of Assassins, so standing on top of the chart, he's going to be fine. Rin pops the ult. He doesn't want to get dove under tower just yet.
And speaking of getting dove there, it seems like in the mid lane, there's a little bit of action here as the Leomort goes down, but AX gets pulled back with the Divine Judgment, and the damage is enough for the Kaya to kick up that kill as well as this tower, as Reborn opens up some space and are looking to actually finish off what they started. But there goes the Hurricane Dance, pushing Kenpachi away from his teammates here, but the rest of Reborn are replying with all this damage out. It's not going to be enough to bring down Arab.
They're going to be absolutely fine. Smooth does use the momentum. He's going to be trying to clear these waves as much as possible, because right now Silo is just dishing out a little too much. They just can't handle him. Not to mention that he does have the extra damage, the extra slow from the turtle buff, which is really, really nice, especially since he doesn't have the Ice Queen wand just yet. But
yeah,
he's going to get it soon. Like, he is building up to it.
And looking from the side, like, yeah, once he gets the Ice Queen wand, she doesn't really have to worry about all these stuff coming that way. But I don't know, like, at this rate, I'm thinking that Assassins just gotta make sure that they stall, but they still find a lot of towers towards the top side. They will try to continue that split push, but mid lane and bottom lane, nothing much happening though. Here comes Rin with the Dark Knight Falls, but is it necessary though?
I think he did realize that Leomort was nearby. He was hoping to get a catch onto Arthur there, but it's going to be fine for now. Arab's going to pull his way backwards. I think at this point of time, Assassins need to start playing defensively. And they finally realize that they're not in that position to set the pace of the game anymore. Like, it's just way too late for that now.
Yeah.
And now they have to keep an eye on Silo. If he is out of position, they can collapse on him. If they kill him, they should have a decent chance at coming back into this game. But Rin is just slowly building up his lead.
They should actually go for this fight, because Halkert is so far away. They can actually pull this 5v4 in the sense, but they're still trying to defend as Rin tries to solo that turtle on the side. Here comes Arthur trying to get the catch as Silo gets pushed all the way back into the tower range. And here comes Thomas shutting down that Kimi as Gunnar gets one for the side of Reborn as well. But Lung getting caught in the middle of 2 man. But Kenpachi goes in. The Gato, oh, it's just phenomenal. Double kill for the Gunnar as Halkert gets another kill. Oh, the cleanup as well. Ooh. There's only Arthur left. Flicker from the side of Rin, but it's not going to be able to take down the Panda Bear.
Arthur made such a good play there. They came out with a really hard 50-50. Like, they forced it onto Reborn to answer. They took out 2 members. They took out a key member, Silo, but Rin was just too much for the team to handle there. I thought Smooth could... Oh, I'm not gonna lie, Smooth definitely had an opportunity there to completely clean up, but just the amount of gold that Rin has invested in himself, side farming all game long, it has paid off.
Yeah, and of course, that fight itself, okay, we're going on the pause, so we have lots of time to discuss about the team fight that just happened. So, Arthur, he knew that he had that Hurricane Dance. He hops right in, but the rest of the members are a little bit far. If they were slightly closer, they can immediately pick off the Kimi in the blink of an eye, and then focus on the rest of the targets. But, of course, with that big gap of distance, the rest of Reborn managed to collapse perfectly, and they know that they didn't really have to focus on the Akai. It's like, okay, if the Kimi goes down, it's still fine. We can still fight this off with Halkert being pretty nearby. And they still managed to bring down 4 members of the side of Assassins.
I'm not gonna lie, that is sure, that's great, but I think in terms of just stalling the game, if this persists, Reborn will eventually take these 50-50s, and they're going to lose one less member every single time, because the longer this game drags on, the more likely they are to scale into the game. And we know that Kimmy is going to be a beast in that late game, as well as that Hellcurt. So the real question is whether or not Arthur can make a play to knock out 2 birds in 1 stone. He needs to get a 2-for-1 somehow.
And of course, not only that, like I feel like it takes a little bit way too long for Tamas as well as Limor to actually get all these big items up. And once they get it all completed, and when they can actually soak a little bit more damage, this is where they can actually bite back and make that turnaround. Maybe in a Lord fight, perhaps.
That is true. Looks like we're going to go back into game. We can talk a little bit further about this, because the thing is, with Smooth, he is allowed. He kind of is allowed that forgiveness to build Athena's shield as a second item in comparison to Cuckoo, who can't really do that. Like, if you are playing Thalmos, you need to be able to fight all the time. You need to have that lifesteal. Bloodlust Axe definitely is a first item, but you got to start building up very early on into the game to get that endless battle. Like, he works off of a snowball. If enough gold is invested into the Thalmos, he can easily just 1v2 in a lot of situations. However, if he is denied those resources, it takes a long while to get the ball rolling. Like, he can't clean as well. Oh no!
Oh, that looks pretty bad. But Arthur still managed to survive with the Hurricane Dance being popped down there, as AX and Arab will be able to hold on to the top side tower. But speaking of that, Grok, a little bit of a lackluster round for the side of Arab here as he tries to defend, but here comes another tower for the side of Reborn as they go on a reset.
Yeah, Silo is just going to be chunking people out. Like, no matter what you say about... Oh no, hold on. Wait, let's hold that thought for 1 second. Guinevere is kind of pushed up, but at least both tanks are there to deny her the push. And now Lord is going to be in the hands of Lord here. So even though she was risking her life to make the play, they are going to buy some time.
They got to actually pull this off as a team, because Rin is dropping so low, but of course this will fall in the hands of Reborn. Sorry to cut you off there, but here comes the fight.
Yeah. Oh, Long gets hit in the very end, but Guinevere is able to pick up the kill. Thalmos is in trouble. He goes down immediately off of Lung's ultimate there. Guinevere used perfectly, as Arthur might be the next target. Lung, he's trying to get close, but he doesn't really want to commit to this.
Nah.
He's just going to hop over the wall once it comes off a cooldown.
He's still going for Arthur.
Wow.
Still, and he's still alive. Wild charge, and of course maximum charge actually picks him off, and Arthur fighting against 3 members here.
Kenpachi? Kenpachi? What?
I'm lost for words.
Kenpachi? Excuse me? 2-2 and 13? This guy survived for way too long, and that's probably just going to win them the game right off the bat. Wow! One for one. Reborn adapted to Assassin's playstyle, and Kenpachi is just unkillable.
I couldn't digest. I thought like Kenpachi is definitely gonna fall, and you saw that one tick of health, one small tick of the health, and he is still standing inside of the base.
Look at this, 2-2 and 14. This guy, stop it. Just go down. Be normal for once. Like, that was incredibly difficult to get out of that situation. And Arthur wasn't able to be that playmaker the team needed. Yes, he did make those big plays, but it wasn't as impactful as before, as the rest of the team of Assassins just didn't have enough resources and got hurt so much in the early stages of the game that Reborn just took that lead and went all the way through.
Exactly, and of course the setups coming from Kenpachi as well as Evil X getting the MVP instead of Silo is such a good news here. No deaths, 14 assists. Man, KDA shot through the roof here, but with all these damage being soaked there by Kenpachi, it opens up so much door for Lung to actually go in for all this setup as well. So let's have a look into the highlights in a little bit, but this time around they figured out the draft for the side of Assassins, and they took out what's necessary. Now we're going to go into the highlights for a little bit as Smooth picks off Guinevere in this early team fight.
I don't think Reborn has adapted particularly in the draft, in terms of like how to draft properly. I think they understand how Assassins play the game now, especially considering that they did pretty much the exact same lineup that they the exact same line of play from game 1 and brought it over to game 2, and you could tell they sent Arthur. They sent Arthur in the solo lane by himself. All right, we punish that. What's the next move coming in from Assassins? They're gonna punish the opposite lane with their priority. So recall all 4 members. We're gonna go down and defend bot side. Like, expect that to happen.
Yeah, and this was quite a monumental fight. This is the only time where they actually picked off the Kimmy, and admittedly, they didn't really know what to do. Flicker being popped off there as long. They have so much mobility to actually fall back and then reset the fight, counter-engage, and pick up 4 kills in total as Smooth tried to do as much as he can because, you know, Lil Mort needs to be in the middle of it all. And sad to say, there was just not enough numbers to actually win that the fight.
Yeah, and I think Assassins, the way they need to play the game is, yes, it will work, but if somebody adapts it, this
this is the fight there.
Look at just Kenpachi 1v2ing.
He doesn't care.
Like, sure, whatever, fine, I'm still gonna live, and he makes it out with like 1 HP.
And he's just hugging the walls like, guys, protect me, guys. Like, he's so worried about Arta as well, but like, he's like, he knew the team had his back, and they went in for the win. This is gonna be a 3-game series, and so far my predictions are going fine. Not too sure about you.
Nope, mine's out of the window. Mine's definitely out of the window here, but I'm excited to see how they're gonna play for game 3. In the meantime, we're going to go on a short break. Remember, all of this is live on Facebook Gaming. This is the MPL Season 3 MYSG, brought to you by EGG Network as well as Moontoon. Not to mention our favorite legendary sponsor, U-Mobile, as well as our elite sponsor, HyperX. We're going to be going to a short break.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hero Spotlight. This time, let's meet Desert Tyrant Khufra. Khufra is a tank with strong CC, who can dash towards enemies and stop enemies from using blink skills.
All shall succumb to my power.
He used to be the ruthless tyrant in the Western Desert. Enhancing himself by Spell Curse, he then gained mighty power. Skill 1, Tyrant's Revenge. Khufra pulls the bandage on his arm to launch himself in the specified direction, dealing physical damage to all enemy units along the path. When blinking to the furthest distance or encountering a first enemy hero, Khufra will immediately stop, dealing physical damage to enemies nearby and then knocking them off. It's the main skill for Khufra to join the battle. The longer he charges, the longer the knock-up effect will be. Try to better use it with Ultimate Tyrant's Rage and control enemy heroes much longer. Skill 2, Bouncing Ball. Khufra uses Bandage to wrap himself into a magical bouncing ball, increasing his own physical and magical defense. Enemies trying to use blink skills to move across Khufra will be knocked off. Each time the magical bouncing ball hits the ground, it will deal magic damage to enemies nearby and reduce their movement speed. This skill counters the heroes that are good at blink skills. They cannot move across the bouncing ball. Ultimate Tyrant's Rage. Khufra pulls back all enemy targets around him toward the front, dealing physical damage and slowing them down for several seconds. Each time Khufra uses his skill to control enemy heroes, Spell Curse's CD is reduced. It's smart strategy to use it and trigger passive twice in a short time and restore much HP. Teamfight rages on. Enemy Fanny is still on her way. Regardless, allies outnumber the enemies. Bad farming makes it still hard to win the team fight. Khufra uses his skill combo and controls all the enemies. Danger! Here comes Fanny. Narrow landscape like this is the best for Fanny. But what? Her blink is interrupted? Again? Interrupted? Oh, it's Khufra's second skill. It counters Fanny so well. Let's march towards the enemy base and win the match. And that's our new hero, Khufra. Pick him up for 599 diamonds or 32,000 battle points. Be sure not to miss out on the 30% launch week discount. Want to know more about the strategies of Khufra? Stay tuned to the hero guide when he is online. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Download for free. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to MPL Season 3 in Malaysia as well as Singapore Division. My name is Contra here. Alongside with me is the Fatal 5-Way, bringing us all these games here. But of course, we got to thank our sponsors for making all these happen. But first of all, we are live at Facebook Gaming, and all these games are brought to you by EGG Network as well as Moonsun. And not forgetting our sponsors, it is... you missed it out right there. But, of course, not forgetting the legendary sponsors, U-Mobile, as well as HyperX as the elite sponsors. Now, that was quite an intense match for game number 2, and now we are tied in the series into the third game we go.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting series, especially for Reborn if they want to get up, especially for both of these teams if they want to get up into the standings and set themselves up to maybe push into the top 4. Like, I say maybe, it kind of depends how the other teams play, but man, you really want to have those points here. They're not going to get the sweet 3 points that they wanted to from the side of Assassins. However, they want to at least get 1 more point, because then that still puts them in contention for that top 4 spot.
Exactly, and even so, even if they don't really get it, there's still 1 more week to go for them to have a shot at it. But now it's down to the wire. Everyone wants that top 4 because they need to be in the winner's bracket in a sense, so that they have another chance if anything happens. And when they fall towards the lower bracket, at least it's like, okay, you have a little bit of a mental reset. But if you are down towards the bottom 4, man, that's a really bad place to be, because you can actually lose anytime at all. But of course, this is going to be game number 3 between Assassins versus Reborn, and one of these guys will take home at least 2 points.
Yeah, at least 2 points here. Now, I really want to see how Assassins change up their draft here, because right now, Reborn kind of understands where to punish their playstyle, their current game 1 game plan, which they brought into game 2, and that's where you saw just a complete utter destruction of Assassins and the way that they play the game. So now, Assassin's going to give some respect and ban out the Kimmy first.
Yeah, and of course, too much consistent DPS damage coming from Kimmy is a little bit tough to deal with. And since Reborn has been keeping that pressure towards them, it was so hard for Alta to even get that sword and pick off there. So no more pesky marksman on their side, but Lunox in return aiming over on the side of AX, I would say. So that's a good ban coming in. Now last 2, what would be?
This one's a little bit different because now they're getting rid of the big hyper carry heroes, so a lot of the utility isn't going to be banned out as much. They could consider, I mean, Assassins, as you mentioned before, with future contra predictions. I was gonna say Cho, but sure, Harith, I kind of would have expected Reborn to do that.
Yeah, I expect them to force the ban, but maybe it will still affect their lineup if they were to actually pick the Harith. So maybe this is the reason why they ban it off. But one last ban here could be the Kaya, could be anything, but like we saw from the side of Reborn, they utilized such a good Kaya, which got the MVP in the first round. But still, there is Grok, there is other things such as the Claw. But I'm not sure, like, if you can still open up with the Claw and maybe go for the Baloric, but perhaps Reborn wasn't really all that comfortable with playing that sort of a tank.
I suppose. I mean, Grok is on the table right now. There aren't any priority mages that they have to pick up for themselves, so I guess Grok is going to be the solid pick here. I kind of feel like Reborn could have forced Assassins in a position where they kind of have to give up the Grok, but I suppose that trading it off with Claw was a little too much. I'm not too sure, but in my mind, I think that if you locked in the Grok and Baloric, you might be able to do something. But now that Kaya is on the table, I guess that changes it up.
Yeah, I love the Kaya pick here because we saw how reliable it was, and Kenpachi was playing Gato Kacha. It's still left open, but they will go in with the Hellcrit first. Now, this worked well because like Hellcrit has a lot of safety net on the solo lane. If you get in danger, just pop the Dark Knight Falls, turn off the lights, and just run for your life. So, other than that, they could still go in with chasing some of these enemies there. So, Assassins still got so much of the options left available. Maybe they should go for the Harley first.
I do think Kaya is probably going to be picked within the first rotation.
Yeah, Kaya has already been picked from the side of Kenpachi, but Harley was banned out, and this is one of the core picks here, and they will go for it with the Leomord.
Ooh, they're gonna leave up the Akai anyways. Alright, that's kind of interesting. I'm expecting Thomas to get banned out from the side of Assassins. Oh, actually, they might not necessarily. They might put... now that they've revealed that Hellcurt is going to be that potential offlane carry, are they going to trade the marksman role off? I doubt so. So they're going to take the Akai away, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're going to go in with still smart drafting coming in from the side of Reborn. I mean, Reborn can still play so many of these hero pools there. I've seen them play Akai before. It's not that shabby. And with the Divine Judgment, alongside with the Hurricane Dance, it's just going to cause a lot of trouble. Can the Leomord actually work this out in that sense?
Yes, he can, because for the most part, Kaya and Akai aren't exactly, you know, the tankiest tanks. They're not like a Hylos, they're not like a Gadokaja, they're not like a Grok, for sure. However, I do think that they are trying to set up... I think Reborn need to ban out Minotaur here. They can't allow Minotaur to get through, because that's pretty much going to disrupt the game plan in general. And I think they've kind of traded places in this sense. Yeah, it's going to be the Minotaur. Reborn, they've locked pretty much everything they want in. They haven't... Again, Guinevere, great pick into the Leomord, and probably it will be more impactful anyway, because you have, like, you know, a secondary person to go in. Now you have 3 people who can initiate fights and really help to follow up.
Yeah, I feel like this time they should go in with something really offensive, but they still lock in the Cho. They don't want to... now, they know that the Harley is there, and they will go in with the Chow, so they take it away, and Rin will go in with the final marksman pick. So it could be carry, it could be anything else on the table, or even no marksman pick, perhaps.
Diggy carry. I like this a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Reborn kind of got caught up into denying the Assassin's plan here, because you're getting rid of really mobile type heroes. They could have decided to pick up Harley for themselves. They decide, all right, we can deal with Harley. We have to forego it. What can't we deal with, especially in the offlane? We don't want to deal with the Cho, because he's extremely difficult to catch if you go for those big dives that they played in the early stages of the game, in Game 2 itself. So we're going to pick it up for ourselves. Now we have an offlaner. Now we have a dedicated. Now we have a pseudo, I guess, dedicated mage here. But is this going to work out? It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah,
they could lock in. They could lock in another offlaner.
This is like the best
way
of
better.
Yeah, best of the both worlds, because like you get the really long range stuns, and then like you have enough DPS, and you are still dealing magic damage.
Yeah.
So Selena, last pick, fits the bill, and from the side of Assassins, I think that Diggy plays a vital role here. That perfect timing out needs to be on the dot.
Yeah.
Because there's so many crowd controls and lockdown from the side of Reborn, and now we're down to the final match between two. What's your favorite composition here?
I have to say I like Reborn's way more. It requires a lot less execution, and it's kind of on them to be the aggressors here compared to Assassins, who can play defensively. If they get a small lead, they can be offensive. However, they are very easily punished if they are caught off guard. So I'm favoring towards Reborn on this one.
Yeah, and over here, I'm liking Assassins here, coming with some of these amazing drafts, but this will be the final match between the two of them before we head into the Singapore Showdown much later on, ladies and gentlemen, as Assassins looks to actually come back after losing one game towards Reborn here, but Reborn really upping their game in terms of draft. Like you say, this is really solid offensive draft. Even Kenpachi itself, like, as much as it is tanked with the rework, you mentioned that it dished a lot, right? I don't know who to focus down in the side of Reborn.
Well, from the side of Reborn, it's gonna be tough because a lot of their heroes have a lot of inbuilt early game damage, and once Selena hits that level 2, she doesn't really care. Like, no matter who it is, she could easily chunk out someone to half without a doubt. Like, without a doubt in my mind, someone will die if they get hit by that Abyssal Arrow. However, Assassins, they need to be able to dodge it. They need to play defensively, and I think they're not going to use Grok as offensively as you would want Grok to be, because a lot of, if you look at the lineup, Leomord doesn't do too well until he hits level 4. AX doesn't do too well until he hits level 4. Arab, Cuckoo, they need a little bit of time. Maybe arguably Arab, but it's still tough. Ooh, look at the amount of damage. Look at that damage.
Look at the bomb set inside of the bush there. Oh, I love the new Diggy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The first spell has already changed up to setting up some bombs and visions, and just will keep them occupied there. They can't simply jump into some of these unknown territories, but here comes a little bit of rotation over the top side as enough damage has been dealt from the side of Arta, but that forces a lot of movements coming in from Reborn as they back away. Both teams playing a little bit more passively.
Yeah, well, I think Reborn is trying to be the active one, but Assassins, instead of going to the opposite lane, which they could have easily done and looked to punish Lung and Evil X, they decide to go up to the top side, protect Smooth, make sure he has a better laning phase. Oh, this is the fight!
My goodness me, the Abyssal Arrow nails him down, and that will be the first blood for the side of Selena. Another Abyssal Arrow onto the Harley right there, but it's not going to be enough. The rest of Reborn are really low as they fall back. With that one kill, they are happy enough.
Yeah, they're going to lose Artha there, which is fine compared to losing like someone like Smooth or Cuckoo or even AX in that particular situation. So, all right, not the worst.
Ooh, quick dodge coming in from AX there. He read the movements really well. He almost got pinned down at the max range. But yeah, like you were saying, like all these setups there is really, really good. Now, seems like Reborn doesn't really have retribution, and now seems like Evil X will pin them over a wall. Kenpachi comes in as Akai gets one kill alongside with Kaya there. 3 kills on the hands of Reborn as Arta forced to fall back.
Artha was just a little slow on the ball there. If he was with the rest of the team, he could at least use the wild charge to deny a lot of those ults. So that's kind of on him not being in position, but at least Carry is able to slowly ramp up into the game. And as you were mentioning, yes, they don't have the retributions as for now, but it doesn't look like there's a high priority on Turtle just yet.
Yeah, and Arta's gonna try to steal it away. He's still chasing over on the side of Lung. And Kenpachi, he's gonna get nailed down. Here comes Dark Knight Falls as Arta runs for his life. AX is the main man in the focus of Reborn's eyes as the rest of the cavalry has arrived. And Evil X will fall down towards the gate. And the rest of Reborn still running for their life.
Did Artha just casually, 1v5 there and just didn't care? He literally ran into 3 people, said, I don't really care. The rest of my team is going to follow up.
And yeah, once again, Arthur in the middle of it all as Kenpachi goes in with the Divine Judgment, pulls him back, and still not being able to bring him down. Harley will return the favor as they bring down Selena.
Excuse me, what? Artha, he shows no fear. Like, this is the tank who just does not care who's in your team. He knows, and he's confident. He's just gonna walk up again. Like, he knows nobody's there, so he can just walk up. He knows that Evil X doesn't have enough damage.
Yeah.
Now, hold up, this is dangerous. They probably shouldn't do Turtle right now.
Very dangerous. Like, I agree with you here, but still, they have most of these teammates all around, so they feel a little bit confident. But Arthur doesn't really have mana, though. Here comes Dark Knight Falls, chasing over onto Harley, and he will be the casualty for this fight. Kenpachi in a really good position, but Smooth pushes them away, tries to disrupt them from taking the Turtle there, but Turtle has been slain alongside with another kill for the Hellcurt.
Yeah, that kind of deters them away, but Turtle has already been taken, so it's kind of like whatever, but definitely a mistake. Oh boy, wow, Kenpachi! Yo! Kenpachi's on fire today, I have to admit.
Kenpachi. What is there that he can't do? Like, I think that he goes in for a lot of smart pickoffs there. He knows that there's no point to go for like things like Grog. Like, don't bother wasting too much of all these effort there. But still, there are times where he took a lot longer to actually get into some of these fights. But still, Kenpachi, I gotta say, if he keeps this up, he's gonna be a big trouble for the side of Assassin to deal with. Not even the carries to worry with.
Yeah, and oh man. Oh, Silo?
What?
Casually getting chunked out and just kind of runs it down a little bit.
He just ran it down. He could have went towards the side and survived out of that, but Arta doesn't care once again as he tries to go towards the bottom side, and Chao will be pummeled down by all 3 members. Rin knocked up in the air, but he won't be able to use his way of the dragon, and that wall charge will send him flying, with Harley picking up another one for the side of AX.
Yeah, this game is really, really messy from both sides. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh my goodness me. A killing spree for the side of Kenpachi. And here comes Evil X with a beautiful Hurricane Dance, but it's not going to be enough as the Assassins will still take him down along with the tower.
They're gonna trade a tier 1 for a tier 2 mid.
Oh,
oh no, they don't.
What? they don't have
even
enough
break
minutes.
it. Oh, it's just one hit. That last siege minion should be able to do it.
Yeah, it should be no problem at all as Silo goes on the chase. Doesn't really want to risk it all towards the side of Arrow, but Silo will be pushed down to one last second.
Oh no! That's gonna kill him! Run!
Oh, okay.
What? Wait, what just happened? Did it just bug out? Wait, he did.
I think he negated the damage there. Must be one of the items there. Let's have a look in the items.
No way.
I'm not sure.
He's got nothing. What just happened there?
Oh, okay.
I think he tried to get over the wall, and for some reason it made him invulnerable for like half a second, so it didn't go off. I'm so confused.
I'm just as confused as you are, but of course, now back to the game. This is gonna be Ata trying to find Rin here, and this definitely will be a kill for Harley with a mega kill. But from the side of Reborn, they are getting their eyes, the focus over on the side of another turtle, and Cuckoo getting spotted out already. Abyssal Arrow hits perfectly as Long will have no problem taking out Carry.
Yeah, this is really difficult, especially now that they've lost their mid turrets here. Controlling the jungle is going to be so difficult. I thought he does not care. Look at him. He's just holding it up, but now he's in trouble. He's going to be going down, dodges the stinger. He's going to be okay for now, but Arthur's doing his best to try and deter them so they don't lose their side turrets, because they need their side turrets to fall back to something safe. But right now, Reborn is so far ahead. Well, not too far ahead now that I look at the goal differentials now, but they are far ahead that they can threaten any part of the map, and Assassins kind of have to just let go of that side.
I felt like Reborn can actually force a lot of fights. Like, they can win. Like, speaking of that, this is definitely going to be a kill, and it will fall towards the hands of Long. I feel like Leomord didn't really have to use his ult even in that situation.
I mean, it does give you the extra stats, so you could hope that it saves you by 1 HP, perhaps. I mean, you got to take your chances on these things. You got to use it as much as you can. Plus, the death timer is so long that by the time he gets back into lane, he will have a couple of seconds off his ult.
That's true. That's true. But of course, I feel like Assassins is running out of plans here as the rest of Reborn are trying to crush them out here. Rin trying to push out the top side tower with Akai waiting for a good setup. Meanwhile, 3 other members are towards the side of the mid lane, and another Abyssal Arrow will hit nothing but air as Kenpachi gets spotted out there. The Evil X spots out too, and here comes Dark Knight Falls. Ata runs for life with the wall charge, and Kenpachi tries to pull him back, but it's not going to be effective as Diggy pops the ult. But Rin will be taken down there by the side of the carry as they look for more, but that's a big blunder as they face all 4 members in front of their eyes. And now Kenpachi is being brought down, and here comes a axe.
No, Smooth.
I don't know what's going on right there, but Abyssal Arrow hits, and they will hop on top of that Leomord and take him off that high horse. This is a wipeout, I assume?
Nope. I mean,
not really.
Arrow does come back. I am so sad because Assassins could have easily won that fight, but Smooth botched up that ult there. He pointed the Phantom Steed in the wrong direction, walks out, realizes his mistake, dashes backwards just to get the steed, and by then it's too late. He's missed his window. Oh, Lung's in a lot of trouble. Ata wants it. One more hit.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
At least they get the retribution kill there.
Yeah.
Woo, I'm sweating already for Assassins. Like, I can feel the pressure that they're under.
Yeah, you can see from all these milli mistakes that's coming out from both sides, but it still did not cost the game. For the side of Reborn, they had a little bit of a smile on their side because they managed to take down another tower and open up so much more room, especially when you have a Hellcat on your team. It's going to help you a lot, but Kenpachi waiting for the golden moment as Silo goes in with the flicker and will burst down the little birdie immediately.
Yeah, just you can't face check. You have to use those birds a little bit more efficiently. You need to spread them out so you can get that vision. You can kind of tell where the enemies are. Once they are triggered, they're gonna lose down on that bot side. And again, Reborn, they want Lord, they know their win conditions here, and Assassins just have to give it up. They don't have a choice.
Yeah, they gotta give it up because this might just be the perfect fate, and Reborn is just putting a a lot of pressure, even on the bot side, and Chao tries to go in for a setup. He can possibly go in with a catch here. Can he do it? Oh, Divine Judgment over on the side of AX. Immediately shuts him down. And now the rest of Reborn are just trying to chase them through. But Kenpachi making another blunder right there. But the wall will block them off as they try to hop away. Now Reborn, once again, loses out a couple of members in that small skirmish.
Yeah, and that's going to be fine. This is more beneficial, especially if you're trading 1-for-1 for the side of Assassins, because Reborn, they're ahead. The moment they lose one person, it becomes a little iffy to do to secure bigger objectives like Lord. So you can see they're going back into the lanes, trying to regain control over each of those side lanes to make sure that when they come back up, they're ready to do the Lord in time.
Oh yeah, but of course, I'm still waiting for Leomord to actually do something effective here. 0-5 is not really like the best score for any Leomord, but I understand the situation here because there's just so much DPS coming out. Like, I'm not sure if he even has enough lifesteal or enough items to actually sustain, but that is a beautiful Abyssal Arrow, just that there's lack of a follow-up once again. No attempts on the Lord whatsoever, but Lung sends another one out, but not going to be anything that's actually effective for the side of Reborn.
Yeah, but again, again, that's the great thing about Diggy's new first ability. Now, they're on Lord here. Artha doesn't really care. He'll take the damage, put him on cooldown, but he wants a face check to make sure he sees everybody else. They want to pop the Courage Bulwark. They're gonna get a catch!
Arab pops the ult and he's forced to back away. He runs for his life, but here comes Rin. Rin still knocks him up in the air, but a lot of utilities keeps Cuckoo alive for a little bit longer, but Harley finds the assassination over onto the Chao as Helgen goes with the double kill. Meanwhile, the Leomord will be able to chunk them out, shuts down, and gets the double kill. But now, Smooth getting stunned up by Lung. This will not bring him down as yet, but that last arrow will be enough to do the trick.
This is so worth it for Assassins. They just took the best 50-50 possible and they punish Reborn. They lose one extra member, but again, remember, you're denying time from Reborn, from picking up Lord, from farming, from getting your final items. And yes, they are 41,000 gold, but that's not gonna mean anything. Once Assassins start catching up, they're 33k. They just need 7 more k, so the rest of the team kind of fills out those spaces to reach that final build, and Cuckoo is going to be a beast. Let's look at the items real quick here. I'm pretty sure he's already building up to that third item.
Yeah, and like looking into the item build here, everyone's getting all so beefy, and my eyes are on Grok here. He's got Athena shields and of course immortality, so much of armor as well, so he doesn't really need to care all too much. And Arthur still has immortality up alongside with Evil X, both tanks just dancing around, just gonna tickle each other for a little bit. But hey, Reborn finding it difficult to close a game. What should they do?
I mean, again, your objective is to secure Lord. That's what you should be doing. You probably should send just Hellcurt to solo. I'm fairly confident Silo is able to do that. Did it just flicker?
Maybe a really quick finger there, but yes, he did flicker in that situation. But
I guess he was looking for a potential pick if somebody was there. But yeah, it's just really difficult for Reborn to transverse the jungle right now because again, you may not have vision, but you also don't want to get caught out in these awkward situations.
Now another Dark Knight Falls being popped there from the side of Hellcurt. Now a lot of mistakes, I would say. I don't think that it's a really effective usage of Dark Knight Falls. A lot of things are on cooldown, like the flicker from the side of Rin, and now without the Dark Knight Falls, they can actually march in without much worries to challenge it because they can invest 3 members at least. But bottom lane, they need someone to deal with the wave before Chao alongside with the Selena does something here. Arta being a really, really solid tank, and I don't know, like 3 members in front of his face. He's not even bringing.
He's not even phased. Yeah, he's not even phased.
He doesn't care.
He can just walk up and be like, hello, and walk away. Bye bye. He just does not care. And again, Silo is going to start this all over once more with the rest of his team.
I hope this is
to help him out.
I hope they do take it out and they still use it as a bait. And here comes the setup. Kenpachi managed to fuse the Divine Judgment here as Arab tries to run away for his life. Beautiful Abyssal Arrow as the rest of the backline is obliterated, leaving only Ata as well as AX here trying to fight for their lives here. But what can the Grok do in the face of all these Reborn members as Rin tries to kill him off and AX is still alive, but only leaving Ata alongside with Smooth to deal with this situation. Ata, wow, has to try his best. Now, this is a 4-kill lead in the hands of Reborn in that skirmish. They can go in and close out top lane, but hey, they want the Lord.
Yeah, it was a good use of Reborn from Reborn, using Lord as a way to bait out the fight and force Assassins into that position. I do think Assassins could have cleaned that up much better and probably get a couple more kills there.
Yeah.
Unfortunate that they were a little slow on the ball, but I think it's going to be okay. Oh no, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Arab is dead.
Arab, oh, Arab. I felt like both of these times, it was the Diggy getting caught out time and time again. He's got to make sure that he stays alive. Like, his ult is so important. Like, it could negate and change the entire cause of the team fight. And without the Diggy, there's nothing much that can be done. They could not commit to team fights.
Yeah, they really can't. They really can't. And let's look at the items one last time as Lord, just before Lord reaches in. Doesn't look like, pretty sure Carry is building up to that Thunder Belt here, but I'm not so sure whether that's the best build, because again, no Golden Staff, no real way of getting damage, but a lot of sustain from the side of their Carry. I think she's just hoping to survive long enough to start chunking out the members from Reborn.
Yeah, and seems like Lord didn't really bring down the turret to dangerous levels of health, but Arta once again will be able to clear out the mid wave. Meanwhile, Rin looking for some opportunities there, and Arta does not really have an immortality up. It is still on the cooldown for still while charge away. Meanwhile, Evil X does have the immortality though. They can actually go in for a dive, but it's too much for Rin. But he still goes in. However, the pop up from this perfect timing of Arrow will be able to negate that out. And now it's going to be Cuckoo being pulled back. Meanwhile, from the side, Evil X tries to chunk down the health of all these members of Assassins, and now they are trying to go in for a win. Smooth trying to buy time, and Evil X will be brought down, but he still has the immortality, and now the Immort is being focus fired there. Another kill in the hands of Akai, and oh my goodness me, we see a wipeout coming in from Reborn, the defending champions here, looking to extend their lead.
What a turn of events here. Wow, congratulations to Reborn, sweeping it up from Assassins' feet, 2-1. They're gonna get themselves some sweet points to knock them up the standings here. I can't wait to see the stats, because I want to point out a couple of things. Number one, I don't think Arab exactly had the best Diggy game so far. I think a lot of situations he bailed his team out, but he also kind of put himself, in terms of positioning, he's not exactly in a place to be standing so far up in front. I think Cuckoo's build could have been a little bit better there, but again, he gave a little too much respect over to the Helker, because he was banking on trying to survive.
Yeah.
At some point, you gotta say, hey, I need to do my role, my dedicated role, and Smooth can only go so far.
Yeah, and I felt like late game you really need all that firepower, and Cuckoo just didn't do enough. Like, it's not that he's a bad player or anything, it's just that you need enough damage, because Leo Mort, he's always in the front lines, and you can see how long he lasted in all these fights, but still, it wasn't enough. It was pretty sad for Assassins right there, because they played a really phenomenal game 1. Game 2, it was a little bit shabby, but game 3, they looked even, but still, Reborn fighting back with really good attempts over on the Lord time and time again. A little bit of hiccups here and there, but still, they managed to close the game with a 2-1 victory. Congratulations.
Let's look at the highlights. I want to talk about a couple of things. Number one, I think Assassins, they need to kind of broaden their horizons in terms of their play, because once somebody has adapted to them and kind of understands what they go for, it becomes very predictable what they're going to do in each of their steps. I think in this particular game, it could have been anyone's really. It depends on who gets the bigger lead, but definitely a lot more mistakes came out of Assassins mechanically wise, which really started to put a huge toll, even though they were making the correct plays. like, yes, you should be fighting here. Yes, you should be looking to get a flank. But every single time, somebody accidentally uses an ult too early, or it's in the wrong direction, and that actually costed them so many of these fights.
Yeah, like the one that you say, Lil Mort actually misses the ult completely into the wrong direction. Like, that is way too costly, especially when it comes to golden opportunities as such. But Silo there, of course, having that sort of health, and this was like
Yeah,
a really
what happened here? He does, yeah, it just disappears. I think it happens at the same time that the alarm exploded at the same time that he tried to blink out of there. And I think this is the one where Smooth does go for a side flank, and just watch where the ult comes from.
Yeah, and like,
whoop! Hello, whoa! Wastes a dash as well. So he missed a good 2-second opportunity there, which allowed them to come back. And now,
and he still went in for that. I mean,
yeah, I mean, at that point, you have to commit to something. You can't. It's either you move together as a team or you die together as a team. If you hesitate, especially in moments like this, or you make a mechanical mistake, you missed a 2-second opportunity to chunk out the rest of the team, and Silo does not have any visibilities up. So you could have easily taken out one member if he played that correctly. But unfortunately, it does come down to who were the better players, and I think Reborn definitely came up on top in that aspect. However, Reborn don't exactly have the best macro play, which I think Assassins excel in.
Yeah, Assassins, they know what they need to do, but they were just getting picked off wherever they go. Like, it's not just the Diggy. Sometimes it's a Harley as well. Like, look at that Diggy, and then eventually on the back line, Carry was assassinated as well. So great job coming in from the Hellcat there with that double, and eventually it was only up to AX, Arta, and Smooth. And Smooth, he has most of the health here, and he looks for Kenpachi. They just play him around, and of course they managed to just pick one off, but that was just a basic cleanup there coming from Reborn, and this just opened so much room, and Evil X tries to pin everyone to the wall, and with a good out from Diggy, they managed to negate that, but still, all of them are all over the place. Like, look at where AX was. Like, immediately gets smacked down from Rin, and I don't know what to say, because
I think at this point the game was there's no way to salvage it, and here was like just a small mistake. It would have happened about 5 seconds later, but in general, I do think when it comes down to it, once they have a contrasting playstyle, especially with Reborn here, where they want to get into your face, Assassins kind of struggle to come up with a new line of thought, well, not line of thought, but a new strategy to actually combat it. In terms of adaptability, I think Assassins have a lot to learn still. They are still a pretty new team in general, so I can kind of forgive them in that aspect. And I think in terms of experience, Reborn, naturally, I think they have more mechanically inclined players. However, their macro just did not look good.
Yeah, and of course, that was a great game still, and of course, great drafting from the side of Reborn. They take this series 2-1 against Assassins. Now, we're going to go on a short break, and we want to thank our sponsors once again for making this happen. But of course, all our games are live from Facebook Gaming, and EGG Network, alongside with Moonton, are bringing you all this amazing stuff from MPL MYSG Season 3. Now, thank you to Mobile for being our legendary sponsor, as well as elite sponsors HyperX for giving us such a great show. Now, we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, more games for you guys back at home.
では勝てない。
私たちは負けないわ。
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hero Spotlight. This time, let's meet Desert Tyrant Kufra. Kufra is a tank with strong CC, who can dash towards enemies and stop enemies from using blink skills.
All shall succumb to my power.
He used to be the ruthless tyrant in the Western Desert. Enhancing himself by Spell Curse, he then gained mighty power. Skill 1, Tyrant's Revenge. Kufra pulls the bandage on his arm to launch himself in the specified direction, dealing physical damage to all enemy units along the path. When blinking to the furthest distance or encountering a first enemy hero, Kufra will immediately stop, dealing physical damage to enemies nearby and then knocking them off. It's the main skill for Kufra to join the battle. The longer he charges, the longer the knock-up effect will be. Try to better use it with Ultimate Tyrant's Rage and control enemy heroes much longer. Skill 2, Bouncing Ball. Kufra uses Bandage to wrap himself into a magical bouncing ball, increasing his own physical and magical defense. Enemies trying to use blink skills to move across Kufra will be knocked off. Each time the magical bouncing ball hits the ground, it will deal magic damage to enemies nearby and reduce their movement speed. This skill counters the heroes that are good at blink skills. They cannot move across the bouncing ball. Ultimate Tyrant's Rage. Kufra pulls back all enemy targets around him toward the front, dealing physical damage and slowing them down for several seconds. Each time Kufra uses his skill to control enemy heroes, Spell Curse's CD is reduced. It's smart strategy to use it and trigger passive twice in a short time and restore much HP. Team fight rages on. Enemy family is still on her way. Regardless, allies outnumber the enemies. Bad farming makes it still hard to win the team fight. Kufra uses his skill combo and controls all the enemies. Danger! Here comes Fanny. Narrow landscape like this is the best for Fanny. But what? Her blink is interrupted? Again? Interrupted? Oh, it's Kufra's second skill. It counters Fanny so well. Let's march towards the enemy base and win the match. And that's our new hero, Kufra. Pick him up for 599 diamonds or 32,000 battle points. Be sure not to miss out on the 30% launch week discount. Want to know more about the strategies of Kufra? Stay tuned to the hero guide when he is online. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Welcome back, everybody. We're live on Facebook Gaming. This is the MPL Season 3 MYSG, brought to you by EGG Network as well as Moontoon, not to mention our favorite sponsor, U-Mobile, our legendary sponsor. I was about to say responsor for some reason. And our elite sponsor, HyperX. My name is the Fatal Five-Way. This is Contra Resurgence versus Bigatron.
Oh, this is a big matchup here because now we have some of the Titans of Singapore going against each other, but of course they had a little bit of a shaky run from the start of the season. But of course, before we go deeper into that, let's have a look into the standings as we update some of these brackets here.
Ooh.
With the win, it's going to send Reborn to 5th spot. Man, do you actually expect some of these results here coming in for today?
Well, not really. I did think that Assassins with their cross map play was going to come up ahead, but it looks like Reborn was able to knock them down a peg with their 2-1, which sets them up pretty well to actually push into the top 4 seed. So I think Geek Fam, in terms of where they're standing, it's kind of scary here, but I think Resurgence wants to do the same thing. They're 7th place right now. They could easily shoot up if they take a 2-0 here against Bigatron. But right now, Bigatron, with a current win rate of 5-2,
I think it's going to be quite a difficult feat, but nothing is impossible for some of these guys of Resurgence, formerly known as Flash Tyrants, and now having that same roster. They have great chemistry, but I feel like some of these things that they pick may not be up to the meta sometimes, but they like to try a lot of different things. But speaking of that, we have some challenges for some of these guys, and let's have a look.
How come you only got 2 people?
Because we use 2 people to beat you. Hi, we are from Team Bigatron.
Hi, we are Resurgence. So today we will be doing a challenge.
I slow.
Oh man, 2v5 and they actually won. This is why Sync is on top of the KDA standings, guys.
Hey man, conveniently both KZP and Sync were there right at the top of the KDA standings. But Sync hits hard and fast, dude. Oh my goodness, I wasn't even ready for that. I thought for the most part, AM was able to actually get in the defensive position, but man, his hands are so quick.
He hits him so hard as well. I mean, like, ouch, that's gonna hurt. But of course, let's have a look into the featured player for both teams. Then we have Aeon on Hayabusa. Now, of course, you go with the Blade of the Seven Seas coming in with the Endless Battle as well with the BOD and of course Rose Gold Meteor. Now, I like the higher drive build coming in for himself, and of course, as a Hayabusa, you gotta split push, you gotta take towers, and once you're done with all these towers, join the team fights.
Yeah, and I think with Hayabusa, like his build has definitely changed a multitude of times, even though not a lot of things have happened to him as of yet. But let's talk about Sana on that Thalmos, and he is just a reliable offlaner for so many of these situations. And I think this is going to be, it's not fully committed to the attack speed build, but I definitely like it. It has been coming up time and time again, and super interesting because you don't have that hard sustainability as you want to without the Bloodlust Axe, but you just hit like a truck all the time. And with the disabling strike, it just adds on to the playstyle of, I'm going to hit you once, you can't duel with me, so I'm just going to run you down the lane.
Yeah, and I like how like the second item is immediately a defensive item, so that you can actually like stay in the fight way longer, and you can peel for so many of all your members as a front liner of your team. So this is quite an interesting build coming in from Sana. If you guys would like to copy that, make sure you guys tune into the VOD, zoom it to the builds, and of course take a snapshot.
Just double check that,
or you just go into the app and like stalk some of these guys. But of course, this is gonna be game one between two of these teams here. Now you see in the standings, Resurgence have a lot to play for. Meanwhile, sitting comfortably onto third spot. It's going to be BTR, of course, finally showing the form that they had, like they were back in Season 1.
Yeah, and they were looking so good. But let's look at the draft and we can talk about this a little bit more because right now, in terms of my predictions, I do think Bigatron have the edge. And I'm looking at their stats. They are just more consistent here. And Resurgence, it's not like they're bad. They are a pretty good team. When they are popping off, they are popping off hard. They just struggle to close out games, which they are trying to fix over time. But the inconsistency is really biting them in the butt now.
Yeah, I feel so too. And I think that they gotta find that perfect formula and then like what makes it tick. And if they can just go along with that, that would be great. But now they're facing with some of the top players here in terms of KDA. We have Sync, we have KZP, the legendary LY4, Jason Cole as well. This is a stacked roster. And now there goes another ban. I'm not surprised with all these bans here. And a little bit of a discussion here. I believe that some of our analysts that did a little bit of homework here mentioned that Kadita could be a high contested pick here for both of these teams.
Agreed. Yeah, we have been seeing just a rise of Kadita coming in, especially for Resurgence as well as Bigatron. They have picked it up before. It's not like we're unaware of this, but whether it's a high contestation for it, it kind of depends on what you have on the red side. Usually, it comes on the red side. So Resurgence going to be locking in the Grok. The Dicky is interesting. Is an interesting pick so early on. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're going to set up for Zask.
They already have Grok left on the table as well, and they didn't go for it instead. Yeah, you mentioned the Zask. It did pop up in one of these games here for the side of RSG, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far from the side of Bigatron SG. Now, we talk about Kadita. Lunox has the similar kit, and since its first pick potential, they could just go for it. Now, 3 heavy hitters for the side of Bigatron SG with Carry as the final pick into Phase 1. It's going to be responded there by this quad that will be picked up by RSG.
I definitely think Resurgence wants to punish. They got to ban out. They've got to ban out the Belleric. I still think Akai is going to be would be considered, but with the Dicky it's a little hard. So I think as of right now they have a little bit of an edge. But again, I like Guinevere usually used inside into that off lane sort of role, making sure that get rid of Raphaelia as well. I like it.
I mean, we haven't seen Raphaelia today, and I totally had that slip off my mind, but of course, imagine if you combine things like Alice and Raphaelia, it's going to be so annoying. Sometimes Bigatron brings out the surprise Alice, so you don't really want to deal with that.
I do think that that Bigatron is going to consider locking in the Minotaur for Mr. V. Ooh, Resurgence going to the old reliable. They're not going to show their entire hand first. So I'm not sure what they're setting up the Diggy for just yet.
Oh, I like this because they can actually protect the carries there, especially Jason Cole with this pick. I'm not sure if they're going to lock it in, but Belleric will be slipping off there as they will try their best to negate the blazing duet coming in from the Claude. And will they lock in both though? This is just gonna...
This is better.
Oh,
This is better.
This is definitely better in that sense. We'll go in with this composition. So they gotta protect the carry really well. I'm thinking that they're gonna throw carry over the hands of LY4, but is Mr. V actually gonna go for it? Oh.
Yes, we're going to see more Zask. Now, this is a very different type of composition that you're used to here. Bigatron, they have a strong team fight here because Lun won't be able to do any damage with the Estus, with the Belleric, but you got to keep an eye out for Research because their composition is looking to siege 24/7. But now, I want to see how these people diss each other. Let's see how their taunts are going to be like.
It's going to be spicy.
It doesn't matter who you change because we will still own you. You guys still having the same lineup, the result is still gonna be the same.
Oh, the burns! I can't tell who's better, but man,
that's a 50-50 for me. But dang, that was definitely on theme. But yikes! That is the way you trash talk. Woo! Well done. Gotta give them props. But now, here it is. Game 1 between Resurgence and Bigatron, and it seems that the pauses have been dropped.
Okay, yeah. Back to the taunt there. I guess like Sync actually mean it when he takes the hammer and it hits him harder on the head. It's like, I'm hoping I hit you so hard that you're gonna forget how to play certain heroes in Mobile Legends. But of course, jokes aside, I feel like both teams have a really, really good draft, but last pick Estes there. Now, we know that Estes has a lot of changes into the kit. Now, perhaps you can explain to our audience, like, what's the advantage of picking Estes into some of these teams?
Now, you have to remember that Resurgence has a lineup that has plenty of AoE. They've got a decent amount of AoE. You have Harley, who has a lot of constant and high burst damage. So, just to deny all of that, you have the Estes, you have Belleric. Belleric pops the ult. Everybody's going to have Font of Save Life. That is going to basically destroy Lun when he uses that Blazing Duet. But not to mention that Mr. V on the Estes, whoever is going to be prioritized is going to get the full benefit of that heal. But Aeon going to go in with a big chunk.
Oh, that face check though. And Zaz here just causing a little bit of noise there. Of course, popping down one of his minions right there. And KZP and the rest of BTR sending 4 men into mid lane. Interesting rotation indeed.
No, they want to go for the invade here because you can tell the kill squad's already going. Bigatron looking to make the plays here. Looks like they are going to do buff transfer, so both teams are going to look to trade with each other's buffs. Don't think too much is going to be done just yet. Yep, they are running out the bot side.
Getting spotted out, and of course, he just have a really good hindsight into that they will clear one camp as well as proxy one of the waves. So this should be no challenge at all from the side of Resurgence, as well as getting this free Ripper Trap for the side.
Yeah, this is just no point of contention because, again, they have mid priority, but they've already rotated and they're using Grok as a way to... He can clear the waves easily in the early stages of the game, so they're just going to leave him there. So really smart by Resurgence. Can they get the punish, though? They're going to push Jason Cole out and go for this early siege tactic.
Oh yeah, and right now, I don't know, like Jason Cole is just being forced all the way back, slowly bleeding out in levels, as he's still level 2 right now. Retribution being used here. Oh my goodness.
Look at the health of that turret. One wave, 4 members, it is down by 2/3.
Oh no, look at that, as Jason Cole gets pulled back there by the thingy. Oh man, and here comes Aeon, tries to finish the job. This might just be first blood, but Flicker is being popped, but Aeon getting chased down instead, and this is a turnaround coming in for Jason Cole.
Oh, Aeon kind of greeted out there, pops the sprint, trying to use the power of nature. Try to at least pick him off because he needs the full charge. That's kind of the issue. He needs the full charge. Now, Bigatron, they get a free kill for Leomord, and they also get Turtle. This is... I mean, that was a pretty good punish coming in for Bigatron.
Yeah, I guess like at least they did reap a little bit of rewards out of that. I mean, losing 1 kill is not too much of a big deal, but now Jason Cole is having to be forced towards the side of mid lane.
Early Blazing Duet. They're just trying to keep control over that mid lane, force them back.
I feel like maybe they didn't really need that, but Mr. V is getting stuck there. Wall charge around to Mr. V, but here comes some really great healing as Sig goes into the battle as Jason Cole will be their front line here. They try to jump down Aeon, but that's not going to be enough. Mr. V brought down low, but here comes Jason Cole, tries to hold them down. Zaz with the double kill in his hand, but no, instead it's going to be Harley taking out that Estes.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie, it could have been both ways. Like, if one person made a mistake, like, it was over, but Xian is in the right place at the right time, got a lot of damage onto Mr. V, and yes, his ult was able to sustain him through, but once Zosk has an opening, he will take you out, and that's kind of the problem here, because Resurgence, they're going to pick and choose where the fights are going to be. Bigatron kind of have to give it up in that set.
No. Oh, okay, he pops it right back with the help of Dexter, so he's fine for now, but here comes a little bit of chase coming in from Aeon, but he gets rooted down. I want for doing as much as he can, but he will be pulled back as Aeon goes in with the wall charge once again. But that one last hit coming from LY4 will be able to select.
That's not it. Lunox is in the backline. She could potentially clear somebody up if they face check.
Here comes Sync. He wants to do something here as he finds Ken. Ken pulls him back, but this is going to be Zaz versus the rest of them. But that's not going to be enough. Lunox will get this kill alongside with Estes slaying off Diggy. And man, BTR coming back and stop.
Yeah, very good punish from Bigatron. They kind of understand what Resurgence is capable of doing, and the moment they lose their tank, it's so difficult to disengage, and that's kind of the downfall of Resurgence's composition, that if you don't win that team fight and you're caught in a position when you don't have your turret, you will get run down because you can only fight in stationary positions and choke points.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And speaking of that, I feel like this pick of Estes, it's really working great wonders for the side of Bigatron. Like, yeah, early game not so great, has to scale up, but here we can see that a beautiful teamwork coming out of Bigatron wherever they go. Even the bottom lane fight itself was perfectly executed there. Nothing much that Obby can do.
Yeah, and it's going to be a struggle for Resurgence here because now they're struggling to keep control over the lanes, and they want to be able to punish and siege as much as possible, but it's going to be tough because Bigatron have hit that power spike where they have their ultimates. Oh, no!
Okay, he's still alive.
Oh,
but,
what?
Still trying to go for the chase, and will be able to take down Aeon 3 times in a row.
Ooh, the machine gun mage coming up online and very tough, especially with that. Brilliance is getting popped.
And Jason Cole going in with a flicker, and instead did not manage to push them all back. Here comes a blazing duet over on the side of Mr. V, as well as Sync. Will he be able to bring them down? But the damage is no coming from Sync to actually chunk down Lun. And here comes Zien as well. But that's not going to be resulting much for the side of Resurgence, as BTR still takes down 2.
Oh my goodness, Lun can't do any damage with the Blazing Duet. He can't hope to do any damage at all with KZP and Mr. V with just negating his damage with the ult. And that has got to be so frustrating as a marksman player such as Lun. Because you go in, I'm going to chunk these guys out with my Blazing Duet. Oh no, I'm hurting myself. Oh no, all of them are getting healed by Estes. So you kind of have to wait for the perfect opportunity to go in. He can't just simply take fights anymore. Ooh,
Speaking of that, I don't know about you, but the Jason Coach can still turn this one around. He's trying to chase in and try to fend off Ken, but he is getting surrounded. Okay, no way Jose, yes, he's getting stuck right there.
Yeah, I think they might get punished here. The rest of the team is coming through, and Obby's in a lot of trouble, and White Force is going to keep pushing forward, dashing every single time with the Phantom Step, but Sync is able to clean up the team. 2 for 1. BTR are in prime position to win this game.
Oh yeah, and they could take the turtle as well, but instead they want to keep their focus over onto the bottom side. You can see the just spinning around, hoping to get respawn, and perhaps we'll be able to help out the rest of Resurgence here. Resurgence having top lane knocked out as well as bottom lane. They are lacking of control, and Xian trying to find that perfect opportunity to assassinate some of these guys, but all of them are just sticking together like perfect teamwork here coming from Bigatron. I don't know, it's hard to tear them apart.
Yeah, it really is, and that's kind of the issue with Resurgence's team comp. If you aren't able to get ahead with the pressure that you can generate with that turret, like with the siege capability, it's just too tough. Like, they only took tier 1. They haven't even come close to breaking tier 2. Oh wait, is this going to be the fight of a lifetime? KZP is walking right in.
He's trying to get some setup here for his team, but they will all back away. Here comes Jason Cole. He does have the Phantom Seed with him, but he gets knocked up in the air. And here comes Zaz popping in his ultimate, but KZP will be able to negate every sort of damage here.
0 damage.
Oh my goodness.
0 damage. Look at the Estes Belleric. That's disgusting.
I hate this sort of composition. This is like mental torture, if you ask me. Like, it's like, you know that you can put so much damage out, but they made it look like nothing at all.
It's actually ridiculous. KZP is not scared at all because he knows he has Mr. V to back him up.
Yeah.
This is just, they don't even care. They can walk up to anybody as long as they have double ult.
And of course, another tower on the top side. It is going to be another free tower. Thank you very much to Resurgence not being able to defend that at all. 1 more minute, they might even seal the Lord, and nothing much that Resurgence can do. This is too huge of a lead. 8 minutes into the game. It feels like 12 minutes already.
Yeah, I mean, Bigatron with the 8k gold lead is just really putting the brakes on Resurgence's plan, and they cannot play their siege composition that they intended to do in the beginning. They're forced to play this defensive positioning, but it's just so difficult to play front to front.
Yeah.
So if your front line is fighting their front line, and eventually the back line hits the front line, you know for a fact that Bigatron is going to win. And Bigatron know that's how they're going to win. So they keep forcing this position where, hey, KZP, just walk in. You have nothing to fear.
Yeah, and now they're just setting up a bait, and of course hoping that they could fry down some of these fishes there. But of course, bomb being put there by Ken will be able to negate them from pushing further. But over on the top side though, Resurgence still hoping to do a little bit of split push with the help of Sin.
Yeah, and I think this is a good idea. They can't win the team fight, so they have to play the map game. Lord is under contention. They're probably going to lose their tier 2 for this.
I still feel like it's worth. I mean, like...
I don't think it's worth, only because Bigatron will have an advantage when Lord starts pushing. It forces Resurgence to take them head on.
Yeah, like, I feel like Resurgence could not take the risk to challenge the Lord. You saw what happened every team fight, so at least Sian gets something out of that, and hopefully, they can bring down the Lord without having to risk too much. But of course, Resurgence possibly will be forced to go into a fight against Bigatron, now that the Lord will possibly come into any of these directions here.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Bigatron has successfully kind of checkmated Resurgence into a fight that they might not be able to win here. As long as BTR play this right, KZP just has to hold this up, and Estes needs to make sure he doesn't die. That's it. That's literally the two things he has to do. The rest of the team can hit for free because for the most part, they don't have a lot of CC to begin with.
Yeah. And speaking of that, they are all getting prepared. Like, they should throw all their ults if they can, as they dive right into it right now. KZP being brought down low, but it's not going to be enough. And all of them just melt like butter. What is this? As Resurgence just get pushed over by the rest of Bigatron, as they will take Game 1 in the hands of BTR.
I think we've just discovered one of the nastiest frontline combinations ever. That was... Estes is like Raphaelia. If you're winning, you win so much harder. That's what you do by sacrificing one tank. But Bigatron, they got a little bit of a lead. KZP didn't die.
Yeah.
How did he not die there?
This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the way that he keeps getting MVP. He keeps getting all these high KDAs. He might even overtake Sync in the sense. Like, Sync, 4 kills, 5 assists. This is just perfect teamwork coming in. This is how you play the 5v5s.
Yeah, and I think all this came down to where the draft was hit. I was suggesting that, hey, maybe Resurgence should get rid of the Belleric if you are intending to put Lun onto the... if you want to intend Lun to go... onto Cloud. I was thinking of his name for so long. And now that they kind of realize, I hope they do change up their draft, because their siege composition would have been so good if they didn't have to deal with this Estes Belleric combination, because Lun wasn't able to change the tide of the fights with that blazing duet.
Yeah, and like even the front lines are a little bit too squishy to deal with some of these guys here, so they all have to actually fend for themselves. So all of the backliners, other than Lun, like Lun always dives hit first, but every time he does that, he does not survive.
I mean, it's just too difficult. Their front line, I can't even say their front line. It was literally just KZP. The rest of the team kind of just ran by him. They pressed 2 ults and they just won the fight. They didn't even care.
Yeah.
And that was just brutal, time and time again. And I think, okay, for the most part, Resurgence played the early game correct. This was their first mistake.
Yeah.
Aeon got a little greedy here.
This is a big outplay, though, if you ask me. Like, Jason Cole is not supposed to stand.
I mean, it's kind of judging how much damage they're able to pump out, but the first ultimate here was it's a 50-50, and it depends on which team gets that initial lead. Whoever gets the lead kind of determines how the next 5 minutes or so is going to be played out. And once Bigatron had such a significant lead on the right people, it just became too difficult, and every time Resurgence made a mistake, Bigatron were there to punish.
Yeah, I think that it was just beautiful to see how they actually set things up. And even Sync, he saw what nobody saw. He know the damage output of Lunox is enough, and he still went in for the dive, just hugging him out of the corners. But
look at this. 0 damage. 0 damage.
So disgusting. I don't know. Like, if I were to meet BTR, like, just take this game off me. I'm just gonna go like sit in my base for a bit. You guys can like just get this game. Like, look at this fight. This is the
what's so frustrating, especially from the side of Resurgence, I think if they are going to play a composition like this, they have to really consider if their team fighting capabilities aren't strong enough, if they have a lot of high AoE, get rid of that Belleric, because you're going to have things like Raphaelia and Estes that's going to keep him alive for a little too long. And I think now, if you play that draft again, they'll probably get rid of Belleric, but Estes looking good as a cool combination to really make sure that Claude just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, crazy wombo combos coming in from Resurgence. Sorry, that's not Resurgence, it was BTR. But yeah, BTR taking game 1 in that sense. But of course, we're going to go on a short break. We got to thank our sponsors as well as thank you guys for still tuning in. And we are all live coming in at Facebook Gaming, and all games MPL MYSG is brought to you by EGG Network as well as Moonton. And of course, we got to thank our legendary sponsors, U-Mobile, as well as HyperX being our elite sponsor, as we will come back after 3 minutes.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hero Spotlight. This time, let's meet Desert Tyrant Khufra. Khufra is a tank with strong CC, who can dash towards enemies and stop enemies from using blink skills.
All shall succumb to my power.
He used to be the ruthless tyrant in the Western Desert. Enhancing himself by Spell Curse, he then gained mighty power. Skill 1, Tyrant's Revenge. Khufra pulls the bandage on his arm to launch himself in the specified direction, dealing physical damage to all enemy units along the path. When blinking to the furthest distance or encountering a first enemy hero, Khufra will immediately stop, dealing physical damage to enemies nearby and then knocking them off. It's the main skill for Khufra to join the battle. The longer he charges, the longer the knock-up effect will be. Try to better use it with Ultimate Tyrant's Rage and control enemy heroes much longer. Skill 2, Bouncing Ball. Khufra uses Bandage to wrap himself into a magical bouncing ball, increasing his own physical and magical defense. Enemies trying to use blink skills to move across Khufra will be knocked off. Each time the magical bouncing ball hits the ground, it will deal magic damage to enemies nearby and reduce their movement speed. This skill counters the heroes that are good at blink skills. They cannot move across the bouncing ball. Ultimate Tyrant's Rage. Khufra pulls back all enemy targets around him toward the front, dealing physical damage and slowing them down for several seconds. Each time Khufra uses his skill to control enemy heroes, Spell Curse's CD is reduced. It's smart strategy to use it and trigger passive twice in a short time and restore much HP. Teamfight rages on. Enemy Fanny is still on her way. Regardless, allies outnumber the enemies. Bad farming makes it still hard to win the team fight. Khufra uses his skill combo and controls all the enemies. Danger! Here comes Fanny. Narrow landscape like this is the best for Fanny. But what? Her blink is interrupted? Again? Interrupted? Oh, it's Khufra's second skill. It counters Fanny so well. Let's march towards the enemy base and win the match. And that's our new hero, Khufra. Pick him up for 599 diamonds or 32,000 battle points. Be sure not to miss out on the 30% launch week discount. Want to know more about the strategies of Khufra? Stay tuned to the hero guide when he is online. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Download for free. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
You're probably wondering what you just tuned into. This is the MPL Season 3 MYSG live on Facebook Gaming. My goodness, it has been a crazy, crazy day of games. All of this brought to you by EGG Network as well as Moontu, not to mention what everybody is fighting for, pushing their way to that legendary, but in this case, it's going to be U-Mobile, our legendary sponsor, and our elite sponsors, HyperX, for making this possible.
Yeah, and of course, we got to thank you guys as well. Of course, without you guys, we wouldn't have great support. And of course, we hop straight into game number 2.
It's what people want.
Yeah.
Show me the game.
Yeah, we don't want to talk way too long. I know sometimes like you guys are like,
Game.
Casters, shut up. bring us the game.
We want
already.
game. Just an angry mob of just game, game, game. But Resurgence, they need to change up their draft.
Do they have to ban out the Diggy though?
See, that's the thing. Again, Diggy, Estes,
team is
Raphaelia,
banning.
it's that support pick. It's the support pick that tells you if we're winning, I can't emphasize this more. If we're winning, we're going to win harder. They
Yeah.
can't turn the tides. I haven't seen anybody been able to do that with any of these heroes at all.
Your
So
team
it's kind of
is
understandable that it has come to this.
Yeah, I do agree. And right now,
That is interesting.
one more ban. This opens up so many possibilities
team
here. Now,
is
RSG
picking.
has the Lunox up for grabs. I think that they should, but instead they go for the Kimi, which leads
Your
a
team
lot of
is
options for
picking.
BTR as well.
Yeah, I don't think Lunox, I don't think Claude...
Insta-lock!
Yeah, I don't think Claude is going to get
No
picked out just yet. They
questions.
kind of need to figure out whether or not they want to lock in their tank. And I think that's going to be a very big deal. Resurgence don't want to make the same mistake. I mean, they have the option of picking up the Claw, but that gives Bigatron so much more leeway.
Yeah, like, you can see that from the side of Bigatron, they do have a little bit more mobility and less punishing kit. Like, they can go all out and still, like, try to escape out of certain situations here. Now, RSG trying to finish off their comp with the Leomort pickup here alongside with Minotaur. Okay,
Minotaur.
I like
is
this
picking.
whole matchup here because, like, at least they have a big solid front line for Leomort to do magic. I mean, make magic happen here.
I arguably think that they could have gone for Cho, which means this is kind of a tell, because now Resurgence is they won't get first pick, so that means they're probably
team
going to
is
ban
banned.
out the Thalmus, and then look to pick up something else, probably their secondary tank, their second tank in the next ban phase. So they're kind of setting up for that. Bigatron, on the other hand, it's kind of hard to tell which way. I think they're going to play a very traditional game.
Yeah, I feel like Bigatron, they're playing a little bit safer, and I like the carry for the last pick because they saw the frontliners. It's really
Raphaelia.
beefy.
Your team
But
is banning.
yeah, Raphaelia, second time banned out for today. RSG doing the same bans all over again, except for the shakeup. They're of course banning the Grok as well as the Diggy. Now, BTR still has options available. They can leave out the Tamus open, go in with the Tamus, and then final pick. I'm not too sure what they can go for. Like, they've already got a lot of damage down. They can still use another
Your
frontliner,
team
I
is
believe.
picking.
I arguably think. So here's the thought process. If you take Balaric, it's like okay, sure, Claude is going to be less effective, but
Your
that
team is
big
picking.
damage coming in from Kimmy, if you're able to deny it, Balaric does a really good job. So instead of saying like, hey, we could give you Claude, but then we still have to deal with Kimmy, we might as well get rid of one or the other and have Balaric become that much more effective.
Yeah, I totally agree. And right now, over on the side of RSG, I feel like they have really big fishes to fry here, and they gotta crack their brains out to deal with the Balaric Estes combo thingy. And is this gonna be a Lolita?
Ooh, Guinevere. Okay, they're
okay.
getting rid of the counter
Your
pick
team
as
is
well.
picking.
This is actually very, very good offensive front lines here, and it's tanky enough, if you ask me.
I mean, I suppose, but the real question to me is, if you're picking up Guinevere, where's she gonna go? What's Leomore going to do? And how are they gonna distribute the lanes better?
Yeah, and I feel like it's still a little bit resource heavy because I'm pretty sure that Leomort needs all the farming that he can get. Same goes to Kimmy, but Kimmy will still rotate around, try to get some lanes pushed out. And oh my, last pick there, we saw a Cho early on, so I think that this is gonna be Bigatron here trying to get a lot of pickoffs as they can because they got Kaya, they have the Cho, and with the Balaric, they don't really need to worry about damage output. So it's all down to the wire here. Resurgence still has a lot of chances to actually fend them off, but they got to make sure that they burn out the ult coming from Balaric first.
Yeah, looking at both of these team compositions, I think
Hard to tell.
they want to do the exact same things. They have different pros and cons, but Resurgence, their team fight is going to be solely based on whether Minotaur can land that Meonium Fury, while Bigatron have much better pick potential at level 4. So when it comes to level 4, Resurgence are looking to group together enough to hopefully turn the tides, but I think Bigatron has a stronger level 4, which is kind of scary considering of how much of an impact they did during the mid game in game 1. So I don't want to point fingers here, but I think Bigatron kind of have a better composition in that aspect. However, it's really Jason Cole on the Cho and Xian on the Guinevere that needs to make the difference. Cho, great pick potential. Xian, he needs to be that initiator.
And they gotta make sure that all of them work like clockwork here, because like you know that if Resurgence stack all these ults together, it's quite lethal if you ask me. Like they could just smack people down easily. But of course, provided with the right build, provided with the right stats, they cannot still go in blindly. But same sort of rotations, buff traits coming from both sides, as RSG looking to actually cause a little bit of trouble towards the side of Jason Cole.
Yeah, they want to cause as much trouble as possible, but again, the same can be said about Bigatron. They're probably going to mirror it as much as possible. They're going to have mid priority. They're going to rotate down, so I think Resurgence needs to bail out of there sooner more than later.
Man.
Hello, what's going on back here?
All of them are still level 2, and still they're hugging by the towers right now. Aeon has to deal with Sync as well, trying to dish him down. Is this going to be first blood for either side, as RSG still sticking it all together? This is going to be a river crab up for contention, as Jason Cole gets a beautiful Kondo over onto 2 members, but it's not enough damage, as Aeon here has to deal with KZP. KZP, I'm not gonna pursue any further than that.
Yeah, a lot of members from the side of Resurgence lost a bit of EXP. They pretty much lost an entire wave, so that's going to delay their level 4s. LY4, very happy in his current position, but very early turret coming in from Resurgence. I like it a lot. Turtle is coming up in about 3 seconds, but again, they still haven't hit that level 4 yet. So they're going to quickly go into the jungle, clear it up, hit the level 4s, and then maybe have a chance to contest that turtle.
Yeah, and I do think that with all that pressure there, Resurgence, if they do keep this thing up, it's going to be giving them a little bit of benefits here, because just like how Bigatron played the last game, they just make sure they stick at 4 or 5, and they get advantage. And this is going to be a pick off there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. First blood will be given to the side of Belric of Bigatron, as Mr. V takes charge.
Oh boy, definitely a mistake on Aeon's side. I think he gave a little too much disrespect. He knew he could get out, but he wasn't sure whether KZP was there. And I think that he has to remember, if somebody does show up, he should be ready to get out much sooner than that, only because you should expect KZP to be following just behind the carries.
Yeah, and here comes Xian trying to challenge BTR. This could be anyone's, as the ult has been popped, but Max to secure the turtle as they knock KZP up in the air alongside with Mr. V, as Kimi manages to slay down the Belric, and they're looking for another one, as Jason Cole will not be able to survive out of that one. Sing getting caught up as well, and there's nothing much that can be done. 3 kills in the hands of Resurgence.
Oh, Aeon played that so well. He got right in front of Sing's face, denied a lot of damage, made sure that LY4 couldn't get enough through. Really well played there.
Oh my goodness me. I wish we can see the highlights once again, but of course we're going to wait till the game ends before we go into those highlights. But still, we can see that Bigatron is still not far behind. 1k lead towards the side of Resurgence, but right now they're waiting for LY4 to actually snowball in a sense, and then when that happens, they will try to find some good opportunities for him to just chunk them down. But of course, they still need the golden staff. You need a lot of all these axes and like so many items for the side of carry.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, this is LY4 we're talking about. When have you not seen him scale into a game? Unless he was getting heavily targeted. And I think for Resurgence, they're playing this early game much better here. But let's see whether they can take their lead like Bigatron did and just make sure that their plays are clean. And the rest of the team. Oh, this could be big. He's got the ult.
Really big trap here.
Oh my god.
Beautiful Minoan Fury slams over on the side of Belric, and now it's going to be a big turnaround as Lolita takes one down, and that maximum charge blows them to smithereens.
Oh my god. Stop it, man. These guys have families to go home to. Resurgence, foreseeing the future, knowing where the fight is going to be, they get in position to counteract what Bigatron had to do. They get a huge punish here. They're going to take away that tier 2. Oh my goodness, that was beautiful from the side of Resurgence.
Oh, that was just crazy stuff coming in from Ken. Like, He smacked everyone right there. He caught the right members, and everyone just fall up in time. Beric thought that, hey, maybe I could set this up for the rest of Bigatron, but he fell into dangerous levels of health, and he saw the golden opportunity. Like, he knew someone was around. So Beric will never give you free hits for nothing. So
yeah,
he went in at the perfect timing, and here comes a beautiful flicker, and of course the way of the dragon to follow up with, but not enough to bring them down. There's still minutes, so I guess like it's just a valiant effort.
Yeah, just to buy some time.
Yeah.
Ooh, looks like Aeon, he's taking a bit of damage, and I think in terms of how that previous team fight went down, it's not like Bigatron made a mistake there. Like, they could easily take that if the rest of the Resurgence wasn't there, because Mr. V had his ultimate as well. They could take down tier 1 mid here, but they just didn't realize how close the rest of the members of Resurgence was.
Yeah, and I do think that they definitely didn't really know the rest of the positions.
Hello, ooh,
of the
disrespect.
rest. Yeah, that's
this might be it. Might be another big minion fury right here.
And like you speak, that's gonna be 3 members caught down, and immediately all these follow-ups coming in from Abi as well as Lun will be able to just slice them through so easily. And man, I'm okay with that. Like, Ken's first death actually picked up 3 kills.
Yep.
So 9 kills in total for Resurgence. This is just working so well in their favor.
Just too much. That's too much value. I think Bigatron, they didn't realize how far behind they were, especially in that engagement. They pull back Ken, making sure that he falls behind. Hopefully they could kill him before the Minion Fury. But again, Ken has been doing so much work, and because of that one team fight, he was able to get that Athena shield, which just completely changed the terms of the fight. Because right now, LY4, the emblems that he's currently running, probably, I'm not sure whether he took hybrid damage or to quicken the pace of killing. Oh no.
Mr. V in the middle of it all, and you see KZP actually bringing Ken into the power range.
Oh my god!
Oh, they are going for the time. It's a triple. Not enough for the Maniac, but still 3 men down. Then there is enough minutes for them to take down the mid lane turret without any tussle at all.
Lun is able to pick up some of those kills, but Xian, oh my goodness, with a 3-man knockup, and oh wow, and an ult, he really changed the tide of the fights, because it was not looking good for Resurgence considering that they were under a turret, and I'm pretty sure Bigatron should have been able to clean that up if it wasn't for that huge play coming in from the Guinevere. My goodness, gotta give some respect. Resurgence is playing out of their mind right now.
They saw opportunity and they are going for it, and they took the buff, but Jason Cole going in with the Way of the Dragon, and all of them are caught inside of the Minion Fury once again. 1 kill for the leader, and the wild charge, the maximum charge over on the side of Sync brings him down to 8%, but that monster kill over on Lun will not continue, but it does not matter as RSG have all these minutes in their favor. They will crush the mid lane, they will crush the top lane as well. Sing trying to do his best, but this will be 4 members breaking down the base of BTR here.
Yeah, they're gonna go with a safe play. They don't want to go for the GG push. They're gonna quickly go back and reset, clear up the jungles. Resurgence go for the safer play, but my goodness, Albi is just a beast right now. Let's look at the items. Let's see how far these guys ahead. Oh my goodness, he's got Hospital.
Concentrated energy.
He's got the Berserker's Fury. No wonder he's just critting every single hit.
Oh man, I didn't see that at all, but of course, this is gonna be a really tough one for BTR right now. I mean, they're stopping out of the resources. Look at the waves, they're all so far away. They can't really farm, but here comes Ken. They're all getting rooted down by the side of Mr. V, but they can still back away. They could not commit into this. And Guinevere is trying to do a 1v1 against Jason Cole. Meanwhile, on over top side of Divine Judgment has been used as Aeon forced to flicker away. 2 man members for them to deal with here. But Jason Cole still wants to go in for a fight. And that is an unfair fight. 2v1. And there goes the Chow. 4 members left for the side of BTR as they are eyeing down the 5 tower of the game. KZP does not have the Divine Judgment right now to pull anyone in. One of the bursts coming in from the side of Kimmy. And now they're diving right through Xian with a beautiful nugget once again, alongside with the Minotaur, with the Minion Fury. Knocks every single one of them up in the air as Lun once more goes in, slicing them down only having LY4 left. But what can LY4 do here? And here comes Jason Cole. Does he have the way of the dragon? He can still hold on. No minutes left whatsoever. But there is the golden staff now for LY4. Perhaps they can do something here.
Is this the end? Nope. Looks like they're able to hold off, able to pick up a kill onto Aeon as well as Lud. Xian died super early. He did initiate that fight. And that's the beauty of Guinevere here. Again, you have to look at Jason Cole and Xian. They have two completely contrasting roles, but it seems that Xian is consistently finding these bigger engages, and Jason Cole just can't get the catch.
Oh man, like this is just really, really hot for them. I mean, like, you're forced to play inside the base, and now that there is the Lord up for the taking, it's so tough to actually steal this one away from the side of Resurgence. Like, you saw Obby, and he just makes sure that he stays into the right position where he just chunk them down. But here comes KZP pulling one member through. Lun getting caught out. Way of the Dragon being used over on it. But everyone get knocked up in the air once again, leaving only Jason Cole and make that no members, as they will just go straight for the end game. And speaking of end game, of course, a movie is coming out soon. But let's see RSG pushing in for game 3.
What a game. That was just nasty. Wombo combos all the way around. It was first the Belleric and the Estes. Now it's the Minotaur and Guinevere. That was just nasty, but neck and neck. Both of these teams at each other's throats. It's 1-1 as Resurgence takes the game.
Man, this is just such a great battle here. I just love how Resurgence played this one out. Let's have a look into the stats once again. Of course, they honor each other right there, but the MVP will still be Obby with 16 assists, 6 kills, but still, team effort there. And I would give more MVP awards towards Ken as well as Sen right there, because the setups, 21 assists. I mean, he only fell once as a Minotaur?
Yeah.
So that was just crazy.
It was impressive. Both teams tried their best here, and I think for the side of Bigatron here, the problem with their composition is that they only have one line of defense, which is we have to team fight and we have to somehow come up on top of this. But Ken was just such a driving force for the side of Resurgence that it was just impossible to get away from it. Like, if LY4 gets caught in the Meteor Fury, it's over.
Yeah, it's totally going to be over if that's the case. But of course, these are the highlights where we saw some of these early kills. Beautiful Divine Judgment move on to Belleric. Easy one for the side of BTR, but this is a little bit messy here. They get a couple of knockups left and right, and they make sure that they focus down Belleric first before going over onto KZP. They brought down one Guinevere in return, but it's still not going to be enough. Look at Sync just getting pinned down there, and KZP had no more resources left.
Yeah, and from here on out, this was the big play. It was once Ken caught them out. This is the second time. Bam! Flicker forward. So nasty. That was a really good wombo combo. They kind of disrespected how close the rest of the team members was. And from here on out, no matter how many plays they make, Ken was always going to be able to land that Minnow Fury. LY4, he wants to get the damage out, but he has to realize that he's got to look for numero uno, which is himself. If he dies, the rest of the team isn't going to be able to scale up well into this game.
And this was really beautiful. I mean, like, Minnow Fury was just charged up, but like they made sure that they brought Ken down low, but that wasn't the main focus there. Xian knocks them all up, sets it off for the side of Lun for that triple kill.
Yeah, and it was just, again, Bigatron wasn't able. I think Jason Cole definitely played he was not having it this game. Absolutely not having it at all. I think he was supposed to be the X factor that really changed the way the team could play, but he just fell so far behind that even though he does get those big picks onto Obby sometimes, the rest of the team is just too far, and Ken is able to just completely counteract that. So it's really tough.
This is like just, I don't know, they were just like on the trampoline. It's up and down because of like the Minnow Fury and of course the Guinevere as well. This is Lord Bait,
the wombo combos, so nasty. But I think coming into this third game here, it really is 50-50. Whoever just gets a better combination of draft and whoever gets the lead is basically going to win, because I think at this point both teams have taken off a game of each other off of just one bad fight, and it just completely snowballs in one side's favor.
Yeah, and of course that was just crazy teamwork once again.
Yeah.
And of course, we talk about snowballs. We will snowball into game number 3. Of course, we'll go on to 3 minutes break, and we got to thank you guys and thank our sponsors. We are live from Facebook Gaming. And of course, MPL NYSG is brought to you by EG Network as well as Moonton. Not forgetting our legendary sponsors, Mobile, as well as elite sponsors, HyperX. Now, we'll come back after a short break.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hero Spotlight. This time, let's meet Desert Tyrant Kufra. Kufra is a tank with strong CC, who can dash towards enemies and stop enemies from using blink skills.
All shall succumb to my power.
He used to be the ruthless tyrant in the Western Desert. Enhancing himself by Spell Curse, he then gained mighty power. Skill 1, Tyrant's Revenge. Kufra pulls the bandage on his arm to launch himself in the specified direction, dealing physical damage to all enemy units along the path. When blinking to the furthest distance or encountering a first enemy hero, Kufra will immediately stop, dealing physical damage to enemies nearby and then knocking them off. It's the main skill for Kufra to join the battle. The longer he charges, the longer the knock-up effect will be. Try to better use it with Ultimate Tyrant's Rage and control enemy heroes much longer. Skill 2, Bouncing Ball. Kufra uses Bandage to wrap himself into a magical bouncing ball, increasing his own physical and magical defense. Enemies trying to use blink skills to move across Kufra will be knocked off. Each time the magical bouncing ball hits the ground, it will deal magic damage to enemies nearby and reduce their movement speed. This skill counters the heroes that are good at blink skills. They cannot move across the bouncing ball. Ultimate Tyrant's Rage. Kufra pulls back all enemy targets around him toward the front, dealing physical damage and slowing them down for several seconds. Each time Kufra uses his skill to control enemy heroes, Spell Curse's CD is reduced. It's smart strategy to use it and trigger passive twice in a short time and restore much HP. Team fight rages on. Enemy family is still on her way. Regardless, allies outnumber the enemies. Bad farming makes it still hard to win the team fight. Kufra uses his skill combo and controls all the enemies. Danger! Here comes Fanny. Narrow landscape like this is the best for Fanny. But what? Her blink is interrupted? Again? Interrupted? Oh, it's Kufra's second skill. It counters Fanny so well. Let's march towards the enemy base and win the match. And that's our new hero, Kufra. Pick him up for 599 diamonds or 32,000 battle points. Be sure not to miss out on the 30% launch week discount. Want to know more about the strategies of Kufra? Stay tuned to the hero guide when he is online. Until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Download for free. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are down to our very final game of the day, and you are watching MPL Season 3 in Malaysia, Singapore, and of course, MPL is brought to you by EG Network as well as Moonton. Of course, not forgetting, we are always live here at Facebook Gaming. Make sure you tune into the VODs if you miss any of that action. My name is Contra. Here with me is Fatal 5-Way. We have so many best of threes, and now the final game for today.
I have to ask before we move on, Contra, what are you aiming for in terms of the ranked season?
I mean, everyone wants Mythic for that. You get
Wrong.
stuck.
Wrong. You're gonna get hard stuck legendary because we have to mention our legendary sponsors, Mobile, as well as our elite sponsors, HyperX. But because right now, everyone has reset. All the Mythic players are kind of stuck in legend, and that's kind of my struggle as of right now, trying to like break out of that. But enough about solo queue. Let's go into the draft. Everybody wants to know who is going to get out of this with that top seed. Is it going to be Resurgence? Is it going to be Bigatron? We're going to find out as we go into this draft. Kimmy and Kaya both being taken out here. That's kind of interesting.
Wow, I think this is definitely going to shake up a lot of all these picks that will come into play. But of course, the plot thickens because now nobody's going to get a clean tree points coming out of it. So, but
Ooh,
someone's
yeah.
gonna get 2 points still, which is definitely vital to keep yourself up in the standings. But Harris here, definitely a no-brainer. One more ban, maybe a Lunox, maybe something else. But instead, Balric.
There it is.
With Balric taken out now, I feel like this is gonna hurt BTR a little bit. Okay, KCP could not play this anymore.
True, but I'm feeling like this is going to be similar to game 1, so expect kind of the same picks. Yep, there it is. They're gonna bring. This is the big tell. They lock in Diggy, you know they want Zosk. Like, it's so clear that they want Zosk.
Yeah, they want to pull them back in and make sure that Zas deals the maximum damage output. So, really clean stuff. But Rafaela and Bing slipping out of these bans here, so they will pick that one up, giving Leomort that sustain alongside with Lunox there. So all these Gatling gun damages will fly up in the air, and they don't really have to worry about much. And of course, without Balric, they can really take up that plot without thinking too much.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting because I feel like they could have held up that Balric ban till the second phase. If they lock it in early on, then you just tell, all right, sure, I'm just going to play things that do single target DPS. It's not going to be a big deal for me, but I guess they want to ensure that they get this particular composition. This is the exact same thing as game 1. Bigatron kind of changed it up with the Raphaelia, and the Raphaelia might make a difference because of her heal. They are able to transverse the map a lot faster. Now, Bigatron, they've kind of adapted the composition a little bit more. No more Estus, no more Beleric. They're going to be locking in hard disengaged tanks.
Yeah, I think this might actually work. They have, of course, Hylos, the second horse for them, other than Leomort. But wow, are you sure about this, though? So many fighters on this side of Bigatron. No marksman at all. 2 seconds.
Not... Okay.
Okay, this is a sustained comp. They want to make sure that they don't know who to focus. One of these guys are going to snowball, and eventually, like, they have to deal with it. The collapse. Like, you don't really have that much of a lockdown. They don't have stuns, but that actually makes Diggy's ulti a little bit useless.
Think of it this way. No matter who they're going to fight, they're probably going to punish the lane opposite of Cho. So if Cho goes down bot side, the rest of the team is going to run up top side, destroy that turret, and then look to hopefully transfer down to the bottom side. Oh, it looks like they're not getting the Zosk here. 3 more seconds, 2, 1.
Oh, wow.
Is it going to be Kagura? Huh.
Yeah, definitely going to be Kagura for their side. And of course, I like the Iori skin. I'm not sure if you guys have rolled it onto your favorites as of yet. I still haven't got it though. It's been 2 to 3
I'm not
months.
willing to spend the diamonds for it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy getting the first one. Second one, I'm a hardcore free-to-play player.
Okay. Sad to say, but I want those skins. But of course, if you guys want skins, you gotta check out EGG Network on how you guys can get that. But don't spam it in the chat though. That's not gonna win you anything at all. Now, down to the wire here. Final game between Bigatron SG versus Resurgence. Who will take the game? Hashtag RSG or hashtag BTR. Pop it down in the comment below. Man, Fatal 5-Way, any predictions as of yet? You saw the draft. It looks beautiful for both sides, but man, it's a tough one.
It's really tough. Now that Resurgence has switched out the Kagura, so they switched out Zas for Kagura, I kind of have to give it to Bigatron SG because their composition so much easier to play off, and if they have a snowball, I think it's basically over. It's basically over for Resurgence.
Yeah, I think so too, but still, anything could still happen in this games here. But I feel like the pickoff potential, especially when you have Ken on the Diggy, is going to create so much room for Sen as well. Oh, a lot of pokes over on the side of Sync already, but Mr. V is going to healing for everyone every day.
Huh, this is interesting. It looks like Bigatron have kind of changed up their strategy. They're gonna use. They're just gonna out-sustain them completely. Look at him. He doesn't care. Sync is just gonna completely out-heal.
Is this gonna go on forever?
He took 0 damage. I guess their level 1 is just way stronger compared to the amount of damage pumping out from Resurgence. They're gonna go for the buff invade here, but they can contest it now.
Yeah, they can actually do so. Although they have so many members on top of that, they can actually spam all these spells, and here comes more pressure coming in from Jason Ko. They manage to stun up Obby, and Obby doesn't have anywhere to run at all. There goes to Kagura, and Rafaela gets the first kill of game 3.
What in the world? It's not like there was priority. It's not like they out-rotated. It's just based off of this one level 1 interaction from the side of Bigatron that completely turned the tables. I did not know that you could just take no damage if you have both Lunox and Raphaelia. So that's pretty interesting.
Oh no!
Oh, Lun's
here
in trouble.
comes
He's
another
dead. He's got
collapse
no
here.
mana.
I don't want to say anything right there.
Moment
bad
of silence.
Yeah, moment of silence for him. But Lun, he tried.
He
definitely
tried. He
Yeah.
definitely tried.
Now RSG spots out LY4 as
He's
L1.
level 4. He doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean like it's level 2 versus level 4, and Xian's gonna take the worst
Push it
blood.
back. Yep.
Oh.
And he's dead.
He's
One more hit.
definitely-
Oh, whoa! Oh, one more HP. Oh, he misses the first ability. That's unfortunate because I think LY4...
Still going in.
He can still...
Double kill for
Worth.
the Sodomir.
Definitely worth it in terms of LY4's case because he's ahead. Albi
Yeah.
and Xian are lacking in levels right now.
Look at Obby, still level 2. I mean, I don't know. Can he come back out of this one? It's going to be tough, but Jason Ko, I think that at least Jason Ko here, he can still deal with the solo lane. There's no problem at all dealing with the Clot as well as the Digi. But I don't know. Like maybe they need to send more backup down below for the side
Maybe,
of
yeah. With the high loss as well as the Leomord. Leomord is basically going to be acting as that, high-level marksman position. And once he gets ahead, I think KZP can easily start roaming around the map if he wanted to. But it looks like Resurgence want to punish Jason Call here.
Oh, I don't think he can get out of this one again. And all these side lane punishes, and Jason Cole still struggling between all of them. And they tried to actually get a little bit more damage over onto Aeon to get the kill, but still outnumbered, outgunned. And here comes BTR. One more turtle in their hand. Meanwhile, Resurgence looks to siege top lane.
Yeah, they're hopefully trying to trade. They again, Bigatron were very quick on the finger. They saw Jason Call getting hit. They immediately rotated down the turtle. They have priority in that, but luckily, I guess they are able to take it and maybe be able to take this mid-tier 1. Because Resurgence don't really want to fight right now.
Oh man,
Beautiful.
beautiful Phantom Steed to finish off the job right there. One more kill for Leomort, and he's snowballing out of control. KZP doesn't really have mana, but you don't need mana to take the tower anyways.
Yeah, again, if we learned from anything from the past couple of games here, right, just Glory Gang pop down, is that once one of these teams have a lead, they're not going to let go of it. So I mean, so a high possibility that Bigatron might be able to completely just steamroll all the way to the end of the game because Resurgence right now kind of don't have any opportunity to get ahead.
Oh yeah, and Whale of the Dragon over onto
Just gonna
Jason
press
Cole.
R,
They're
yeah.
just going to bully him once again, but here comes the rest of RSG. A lot of commitment for just one man, but Jason Cole leaves unscathed, but he's going the wrong way.
Yeah, but he does force out a flicker from Xian, so I guess that's okay. They're going to trade 1 for 1 here.
Oh man, it's just gonna be like one kill on the side lane. Let's go to the top lane. Let's go to the bottom lane.
Oh, this might be one more.
Yeah, it's
up.
never gonna end. But KZP though, okay, a really good lifesteal, and he's still hanging on for dear life, and he's still there for the time being.
Excuse
Beautiful
me?
Sun, and of course, he's still being brought down.
They need to get out of there
Yeah.
quick. They can't stay there any longer. They can't even push. The worst part is that they can't even push one more wave. They're gonna sacrifice their tier 1, their tier 1s on both sides of the map, which is absolutely fine because Resurgence are still are catching up ever so slowly, and we've seen this before. Like it's happened one too many times in previous seasons that Resurgence. They're falling behind. They're holding back. They're just waiting for an opportunity to see a huge window to turn the fight around.
Yeah,
Turtle
and of
resurrecting
course,
soon.
from the side of BTR, they still have the better traits in most of these situations, and that's gonna be a
Hold
pullback.
up.
One free kill for the side of the Diggy, but here comes the Brilliance over on top of 3 members of Resurgence, but not enough man to follow this one up. Level 7 sees over in the hands of Jason Cole
Huh.
as LY4 waits for some target.
Interesting first item coming in from Jason Call. Let's double check the items real quick. Yeah, he did rush for it, huh? Interesting.
Interesting. And of course, KZP tries to fend them off, but he will get pulled back. Here comes Aeon there, but the ults are here as they go in on a chase, as Killing Spree will be given towards the side of Lunox there, and LY4 will be able to finish off Kagura as well.
Xian is kind of just hovering around what to do. Looks like he is starting to rotate to the mid side now. A little late. They're going to lose Turtle for this, but not another objective, which is all right to say the least. But again, topside jungle is completely under Bigatron's control.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, like a lot of times, even though they have like some of these key members, they didn't utilize some of these situations well enough. Like, I don't know, like, is it worth challenging that turtle in that sense?
Yes, it is worth challenging the turtle, and they do have an opportunity to actually go for it, but they have to remember that KZP does have the Righteous Glory, so they could turn on them at any time. I think they have to respect that.
And of course, I think that's a very good combo coming in from both Leomord as well as the Hylos there. And now they're keeping up with the pressure inside the jungle once again. Want to steal off this gargoyle.
LY4 is just so far ahead right now.
Yeah, I don't know how are they going to catch up. I mean, good news for Obby though. Now he's level 7. At least it's not as bad as the early game. And there's a Blade of Despair on the hands of Sam.
Yeah, I think it's kind of up to Xian to somehow either get a pick or somehow get ahead, because there's no way Xian can actually 1v1 Jason Cole.
Yeah.
And in LY4's current form, it level 10, 4 kills, probably up to his second item, building up to his second item. There's just no way that Xian can actually beat him.
KZP trying to go for a setup here, pushes some of these guys back, and of course pulls the he's trying to pull the minion wave to come a little bit earlier, and of course KZP just trying to do something here, but he's going to pull back. But RG members are still not going in to chase any further. This is too risky for either teams to actually engage under Cloud.
And I think LY4 just got his Endless Battle and his Bloodlust Axe as well. Yup, he's going to be doing plenty of damage overall. The rest of the team is just going to struggle, but yeah, LY4 is going to be a huge moving force against Resurgence, so Bigatron probably are going to, when they are selecting a fight, LY4 is probably nearby.
Yeah, and looking at LY4 on how he plays this one out, like...
Oh, what a cool little interaction. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, this is a cool little interaction where you can do both camps at the same time.
Yeah, this is efficiency, guys. Like, you want to make sure that you utilize every single second that you have in most of these matches, because in that split second, like in team fight, it can change tides. But of course, effective farming will get you way ahead if you know how to like utilize all these resources. And meanwhile, BTR gets a tower over the bottom side in exchange for mid lane. I guess like Resurgence have a little bit of a better trade here, but here comes Tamus getting pressurized by the Chow, and Jason Cole can still deal with him. Meanwhile, Claude is trying to push towards the top lane as well. So another siege coming on top side. 3 towers in one push.
But Resurgence still ahead by 1 turret. Looks like they are looking to go for the fight here.
Oh, Phantom Seed coming out from LY4, and he charges right in towards the side of Aeon. Aeon going back and forth, but he will not survive. One last hit coming in from the Lunox to seal the deal, but 1 down. It's not too bad. And now there is the Lord, and all these RG members are too far away. I'm not sure if they can actually go in for the contest, but
I think they should contest. Looks like they're gonna go on a short pause, but yes, in this situation, I think they should contest only because they don't have their ultimates. Their ultimates are currently on cooldown. If they fight right now, they will be able to completely turn the fight if Kagura can get an amazing ultimate.
I do agree, because like Leomort has expended the Phantom Steed to actually chase them down. There's no out from Hylos as well. So in this sort of situation, it's still gonna be quite tough, because like we talk about how LY4 is still chunking out a lot of damage, even though like you don't really necessarily need the out. And this is the situation where BTR actually drafted this composition where you can't just focus one guy.
Yeah, you
got to focus multiple units at the same time. And from the side of Resurgence, they don't have enough of that AoE, even though they do have Claude. It's not enough to actually burn him down. And by the time he hops right into the middle, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get a really, really bad beat down of his life.
True, but it's tough because right now Resurgence are looking to go even for as long as possible until Claude is able to get to that tipping point where he will be able to do damage and he will be able to hyper carry here. Because right now, Leomord, he's always going to be good until a certain point. Like, he can't hyper carry the game until, you know, 4 or 5 items. It becomes a little difficult to start chunking people out. And you're depending a lot on the team to actually do that. But Lun right now, if we check his items real quick, he is in a position where he's going to get that golden staff. And once he does, he will be able to do damage because a lot of them are not building enough armor.
Yeah, I do think that armor is really going to be vital to deal with Lun here, but they weren't really too worried. I mean, like, they still have enough damage output from Sync. Like, he's always in the middle. Like, if he wants to jump right in, he's got the brilliance. He got all these DPS to beat him away, but of course, there's still a lot of backup and assurance coming in from Resurgence as well. You have Diggy, you have Xian, but the thing about Xian is like what you said, he was playing with this 1v1 bottom lane where he's not gonna win, but he should find a way to flank and send somebody else to deal with that situation. And now Lord marches towards the bottom lane, and there might just be a fight commencing as Aeon tries to lock some people down. Ultimate coming in from the Hylos as well as the Leomore as they go in for a chase. Phantom Steam being popped out by KZP in the middle of the tower range, and he will go down as well. 2 members down from the side of Bigatron, and now, oh man.
Ooh, tough. They do defend Lord. That's actually not too bad. They trade 1 for 2 there. Really, really good by Resurgence. They're probably going to lose another tier 1, but they're okay with this. They're absolutely okay. This buys them 3 minutes into the game, which should net them at least 3.2k by 13 minutes. So they're pretty much very okay with this.
Yeah, I think that at least they bought a good 3 minutes out of this sort of situation, because like the Lord already demolished the bottom tower, and they have to give out the tier 2s over the top side as well as the mid, and they don't lose out way too much, but they're still bleeding. Like, it's nearly 10k, I mean like 6,000 gold lead right now from the side of Bigatron, but at this point maybe gold don't really matter as much for the side of Bigatron anymore, because they got most of their core items. As for the side of Resurgence, they are still a little bit starved out.
Yeah, they are pretty starved out. They're just waiting to pick up, especially for Lan, he's waiting to pick up that Athena shield to protect himself against Sing. So if he does go in, he at least is able to protect himself from that darkness coming out from Sing's ultimate. He has to be extremely careful, because right now, LY4, he's running in the backline, and he was able to pick up Obby, but in the process, he already chunked 2 or 3 people on his rampage to get to Obby's face.
Yeah. And right now, they're setting up all these waves here. LY4 having the time of his life, just raiding through all these salutes inside of the jungle, and there's no one to actually stop them right now. It's just waiting for Bigatron to make one silly mistake, and Resurgence, hopefully enough, could find that golden opportunity, because like mid lane, there's only 1 tower standing in their way before they crush into the base.
Yeah, and here we go. It's going to come very close, and as I predicted, it's going to hit that 3.2k mark once it hits about 13 minutes. The rest of the team, again, they have to wait for a little bit longer until Lord comes up, but BTR, they've got nothing to take. They're trying to take these inhibitor turrets, but they can't, because it's just way too close to Resurgence's base. They can easily transverse between mid and top.
They definitely need the Lord now in that case.
Yeah, so this is just going to accumulate gold for Resurgence. Yes, Bigatron is catching up, is getting items for their tanks. Their tanks will get their 3rd item, while their carries are getting their utility, their situational 4th and 5th item. But Resurgence, they're gonna have plenty of damage on their side for this upcoming fight. This might be the time that they turn the tables.
Yeah, I do hope that they could actually turn this one around, and we see this best of 3 series having really, really good understanding of each other. I mean, after all, you mentioned they are frenemies, they are friendly outside of the game, but when it comes to competitive level, they're not lacking of anything at all. Now, the Lord is up. So this is the 2nd Lord. Meanwhile, KZP getting challenged already from the side of Aeon, locking him down inside the jungle, forced to actually make a U-turn. But KZP is not hurt at all.
Oh,
getting
this is it.
back.
This is
the
it.
way of the dragon on top of it, as KZP will be knocked out for the killing spree in the hands of Claude. Meanwhile, BTR could not continue with this Lord taking.
That was amazingly good by Resurgence. They found the pickup on the right target. Without that frontline tank, nobody would be able to do enough damage and won't get locked down. Bigatron understand this. They know the moment KZP is gone, they have to back out. Blade of Despair bought by LY4, but now Resurgence will be able to start knocking on death's door here now that Bigatron don't have that frontline tank.
Oh man, I don't know how this is gonna end well for some of these teams here, because like it's gonna be down to the 50-50s here. Like, it could be anyone's game at this point. It's already 14 minutes into the game, and now here comes Grok over onto the side of BTR. Not sure if Aeon is making a little bit of a mistake, but taking a little bit of tickle here, but it does not matter at all. The rest of the teammates are giving him a little bit of helping hand, but here comes another Lord attempt coming in. This might just be the perfect bait that BTR needs, and they are trying to
They need to
set
take the
it
fight.
up. 50% health on the side of Lord, and now they're marching into the fight. Can be brought down low, and will be the first casualty of the fight. Here comes Yen in the middle of it all, and that's gonna be a Kagura with a shutdown, and Bigatron is winning this team fight, but that's not gonna be the end of it all. This is still the Leomord on top of everybody right there as Bigatron finds the shutdown, and Jason Call alongside with LY4 is looking to end the game.
Oh my goodness, what a game this has been. The finale to it all, Bigatron, their lead was just too big. And their fighters were just too strong as Resurgence will be dropping this game. Bigatron taking away 2-1. What a series.
What a series indeed, and this is definitely a dramatic ending between two of the Titans of Singapore, but there can only be one victor, and that is Bigatron SG, the champions of Season 1, and now looking for their second trophy in Season 3. Now, let's have a look into the statistics for this matchup.
Yeah, in that final fight alone, you can definitely see that LY4, he's taking a lot of structural damage, but KZP was doing such an amazing job. But not to mention, you have to look at the secondary person who's taking secondary damage. Jason Cole, he's able to survive for so long because of his ult with the Endless Battle on top of the Bloodlust Axe. It makes him very impenetrable if nobody focuses him down.
Oh, look at that. Actually, I don't know, Ken is actually the highest damage dealer for RSG. What does that tell you?
That means he's been using his first ability really, really efficiently.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's landing it well, but, like, I'm not sure. Like, look at the damage from Sien. This is what we discussed about. Like, lack of participation in fights, lack of creation of opportunities. It actually affected them a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie, Sien did clutch it out in that last fight. He did get a catch on Sync with the Way of the Dragon, and I think that completely changed the tone of the fight. However, a lot of resources weren't distributed efficiently enough. Like, they probably overkilled Sync a little too hard, leaving Jason Cole and LY4 just to clean up the rest.
And of course, yeah, like what you said right there, like, there is a lot of like frontliners for them, but like I feel like it's not enough to burst down all these really hard-hitting guys from the side of Bigatron. Like the first blood here coming in, chasing around with Obby, no chance at all. Rafaela gets the kill, and of course Rafaela has always been sticking with the team. So no matter how much damage you put, she's gonna refill that tank, and they're good to go.
Yeah, again, this is one of those situations where if you're winning, you win harder, and again, it follows. Yeah, it follows up time and time again. If one of these teams gets a lead, they're just gonna snowball it all the way to the end. And I think Resurgence put up a really good fight towards the mid-late game, that transition, because they did deny them once from the Lord. They did almost win a fight, very, very close. However, it just was not enough to set them apart.
Yeah, like we see a lot of trades between the two teams on each side lanes, but still, the ones that had the best laughter, of course, will be LY4 because he kept snowballing in this situation. Jason Cole buys time, but still will fall down in the end. Like, RG is always getting occupied with, I don't know, like investing too much on one person. Like, this is one good set example here. And look at how much KZP bought for the side of Bigatron, that they managed to secure the top lane, of course, get the tower in the situation. And this chase, this was one of the fights that actually brought them a really good lead here.
Yeah, and it's sad to say, but I think Resurgence, I don't think they were expecting the level one interaction between Sync and Rafaela, where he basically takes no damage. So they basically instantly lost mid priority, and that kind of went a little bit out of control, considering that in a lot of these situations they weren't able to they weren't able to keep timing on the buff invades, which is unfortunate to say the least. But you know, it happens. So what? Then mid game it just went completely out of control.
Yeah, like over on the fight inside the jungle, they still managed to do quite a number of good pickoffs as well coming from RSG, but it was just down to the final.
Oh, check this
here.
out! Look, look at Cho. He gets an amazing kick onto Sync here. They kill him straight away, but they just couldn't deal with both LY4 and Jason Cole, and they invested a little bit too much on KZP, where they should have killed Jason Cole or at least LY4 first.
Yeah, and you can see that the wall kind of got in the way as well.
Yeah, it did.
It's kind of unfortunate. Like, maybe if the wall wasn't there, maybe a lot more damage can be done right through, but still, that was a nail biter coming in for both teams. But
yeah, it was tough.
congratulations once again to BTR. Let's have a look at the standings now that we've concluded our matches for today. And wow, with that win, BTR is now sitting at the top spot.
Yeah, I mean, they have the most amount of played games, so to be fair, it might change indefinitely, but Resurgence dropping another game, it's still going to keep them in this contention, trying to go for that 4th place. And I think Reborn, Resurgence, and also Assassins have a very good chance of knocking GeekFam down if, in the upcoming, later in the week, if GeekFam drops games.
Yeah, it's only if, but like, looking at GeekFam, they do have a really solid form now. Enough for today. We want to look into the schedules of tomorrow. So these are our teams playing out for tomorrow. And you just mentioned GeekFam. Now,
yeah.
Bring it up to us.
GeekFam going to be up against Mysterious Assassins, Bosco Gaming against Icon, Nara Esports versus Resurgence here. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one for Resurgence because Nara looks like they're on fire. I mean, second match as well, Bosco Gaming against Icon. They want to be able to, get out of that bottom 2 spot. GeekFam, this is Mysterious Assassins. Everyone knows what to expect there. But if you guys were wondering, where are the playoffs? When's it going to happen? Why is there any information? Here we go. It's not exactly the biggest reveal. We did show it last week, but it's happening at Sunway Pyramid. So jot it down onto your calendars. 20 to 21st of April happening at Sunway Pyramid itself. So if you want to watch your favorite players on home turf, this is the place to be on the 20th and 21st of April.
Yeah, you can also say hi to some of those casters right there, and we're all friendly people, and do have a chat with us, and of course, we're gonna have a lot of fun time over onto some of these playoff rounds, which will happen in April. But let's have a look into the votes here. Of course, we have a lot of voting going on for the past week, but of course, we still need more votes coming in.
Yes.
So make sure you go into the website. Of course, go to the MPL's website and vote for your regular season MVP. This will definitely help the players a lot from 22 March all the way up to the first week of April or second week, somewhat.
Yeah, so make sure you want to be able to support them as much as you can, because remember, you are technically in a way, if they are your favorite and they get the MVP award, they get an extra 500 in the bank. So 500 USD in the bank. So woo,
it's a lot of money for all these players here. And of course, this is all that we have for day number 1, week 5 of MPL MYSG Season 3. My name is Contra. This is Fatal 5-Way. We got to thank all of you guys watching. And of course, we got to thank our sponsors for making all this happen. Of course, we are live from Facebook Gaming. And all these would not happen without the help of EG Network, as well as Moonsun, who are bringing you all the games. And of course, our sponsors, our legendary sponsors, U-Mobile,
finally, as
well as HyperX. Of course, they are legendary, and HyperX is still elite, but still awesome.
Yeah, great sponsors, great sponsors. Now, we're going to be closing off for today. So remember, tune in tomorrow for the second day of some exciting games. My name is the Fatal 5-Way. This is Contra. We're going to be signing off for today. See ya and goodbye.